they're barbecuing on the street. And I imagine it being up in Harlem. And that's one of my favorites.
I love that. Some of my favorites, that Guardians of the Galaxy one you guys did.
Right over
that
there.
One, yep, that one's crazy. That Mitchell Robinson Loch Ness Monster one.
Oh, thanks. That one I made that one. Tried to make that one look like a Japanese like print, like a woodcut kind of.
That one's crazy. I love that Midnight Marauder one because Tribe is like my top 5 hip hop artists of all time. And then the one that I think was just Stevie, you might have had some part in it, but I love his Tyler the Creator.
The kids one.
No, the one with the birds, like the Tyler the Creator.
I know that one too. Of course, yeah. I was thinking of the Mac Miller one. I'm sorry. Like for me, the Kids Mac Miller one, that makes me think of Kids the movie because like I was like 19 when Kids came out, so I never stole 40s like that, but like I drank a lot of 40s. Like the leg, the pant move.
I love it. So
hilarious.
JM Doom is the one I rock. That's my guy Fritz. But hold on, we got
the
some
MF
random
Doom one that I made. I like that one a lot, and that one always gets a reaction on the street.
Yeah, that one's huge. But we got a little special guest real quick. All right, before we let you go. This is one of my favorite dudes in the Knicks community, and he is continuing to blow up with everything that he's doing. Mr. Doug Love.
Hey. Yo, gang. Sorry for the terrible lighting. I'm walking.
Your lights on there, Doug. What's going on?
I'm walking through Central Park. Phil was like, pop on up. I'm like, okay.
We were
so sorry for the lack of optimal quality here, but I had to say what up to my guys.
Oh, thanks for popping in, man. How you doing? How's it going with the new single?
Good. We're launching in about 12 hours. The music video will be up. It'll be up on Spotify. Tom made incredible art as kind of like the single cover and associated merchandise with the single One City. So it looks dope. Tom's a wizard. Like he just does stuff that's like on a quick turnaround, just so directed, so clear, so unique and cool. And it's like a visual universe to go with my music. And I'm just so grateful for it. So I got to put Tom over, as they say in wrestling. I got to put Tom over.
That's very nice of you, Doug. It's really fun to work with Doug. I'm just always amazed like how he's able to do such like interesting and smart, reworkings of songs on such a quick turnaround,
right?
I would think it would take me the time that it takes for him from the game to when he posts just to come up with an idea, but he's recorded his whole song. He's brought in collaborators. It's really pretty amazing. This man must not sleep.
I got lucky last night that an idea that I had worked, but sometimes it doesn't work. I have to start from scratch. But fortunately, I got lucky and I knocked it out in the evening.
Like have something kind of an idea in the tank, and how often do you have to come up with something from whole cloth?
I mean, I've gotten it down pretty tight recently. I'm kind of like
do you have like a song, like a couple songs already, like you're thinking about them as the game is going on, or before the game, or is it like the game speaks to you and you're like, oh, this is the song by the end of the game?
I kind of just try to like pile up as much as I can. Like for the Atlanta series, I still have a bunch of Atlanta beats and songs that like I never used. They're just sitting in a folder for the next time. So like anytime I have like a certain idea or like an impulse of this style or this city or whatever, I try to stack them up on the off days. But I recorded the Hadaway instrumental that I did for yesterday for the OG hamstring thing. I recorded that instrumental in like August and I hadn't used it. So I was just like, I have like a busy night. I have a busy day the next day, but I have this idea for that beat. And it's like, it works. Sometimes it just like works out perfectly. So it's just like so much fun. It's just so fun.
I love it. And it's shown like how cool Knicks Twitter support can be, like
100%.
From the first one, that was, you were like thinking of doing this. And I remember you coming on one of our old shows back in the day and you were on it. And then you get to a point that it blows up so much that Ben Stiller is on, you know, like you have all these
that's
people
fun. Yeah.
collaborated, and it's awesome to see. So how can people support this new single and what you're doing?
Yeah.
Thank you for asking, Phil. I appreciate it. So the new single will be out on all of like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all that stuff. It's called One City, Doug Lust, Duglust. You'll find it. You'll see Tom's incredible artwork when you search it. We have we basically have a Doug Lust collection on Bacher back pages. There's a link to that in my bio. So Tom's now made 2 incredible pieces for me. One from the concert, that's kind of like an Iron Maiden spin-off that's like super dope. And then one that's the single art. You can buy it as a t-shirt from Bacher back pages. And just rock with me, tap in with me, man. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I'm collaborating with artists like Tom and doing all kinds of dope stuff. So on X, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, Douglas, Duglust.
That's awesome. I just posted your Twitter that people can follow. I already texted Doug when he said he was releasing the single. I said, all right, when's the remix of You and I coming out?
Yeah. Somebody's got to put some hard like boom bap drums under it or something.
Let's go.
So, I'll make that happen. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for hopping on, Doug. We'll have you on again very soon.
Hey,
Much
Doug,
love, all you guys.
You should come by the Omni Fan watch party tomorrow at Hill Country if you're not busy.
I wish I'll be home with my fam tomorrow, but
Okay.
it does sound bomb, and Hill Country is delicious.
It is delicious. I personally, it's gotten to the point where my favorite playoff nights are when I get to stay home myself.
Yeah, but it was like I'm glad the Knicks gutted it out last night because I watched the game alone last night and I was like, this is intense. I forgot how this feels. I've been outside for all these other games. So
yeah.
We're gonna play your music video on our next episode. Because I know it's going to be fire if it's anything like your last New York or Nowhere video. You're killing it.
Thank you.
So
appreciate you, man.
Bro. Talk to you soon, man.
Appreciate all you guys, man. Have a great night. Go Knicks. Let's go.
Let's go. Yes, sir.
So that's my guy,
awesome.
Doug Lust. Appreciate him.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So Tom, we got to work on something before the season's done. I was talking to some of the KOT, people in the background, and they're like, let's figure out how to do something with Tom before the season's done. So I'll message you and we'll see what we can make happen. And enjoy that party tomorrow because Omni fans, those are some of my favorite girls in the community.
They're fantastic. They do a great job. Their events are always really fun, and they're more than just like an ordinary watch party. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they actually kind of deliver some extra special content with like their. Like they do all their games and like trivia contests and prizes and stuff. And it's really kind of like, I think it was a great idea on their part to do it at Hill Country because it's kind of more of a family oriented event. Like, there's other watch parties that are kind of at more traditional bars and those are great for like, broing out. But if you want to bring your kids and stuff, this is a lot more appropriate than, going to
times like
Harry's or whatever.
Times like this make me miss New York, man, because I would have definitely been pulling up. Tell us a little more about this event for the people in the chat. If they're in New York, like, can they just show up or do they have to register?
I think they're still. We're close to being sold out. I believe it's been very well received as it would be because it's an away game and it's it's a playoff game. But it's a 7 p.m. game tomorrow, so our doors are at 6. If you go to the Omni fans, Instagram. There's a link in their bio to buy tickets. There's different levels. I think they're sold out of the premium ones, but the kind of like one where you don't have reserved seats are still available. And so I think the doors are at 6, and we're going to have T-shirts for sale there. You can buy food and drink because we're going to be at Hill Country. And if you never eat at Hill Country, it's very good barbecue, nothing wrong with bar food at these other places, but you would go to Hill Country even if there wasn't a game on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that'll be great. And the girls run a really fun evening. They really engage the crowd. I'm sure there'll be music and that sort of thing. It'll be great vibes and hopefully we get that third win and we bring the magic number down to 9.
I love it.
Yes,
I love
sir.
it. I just posted the OmniFan Instagram and the link. I actually just looked. It looks like there's still some general admission and a few reserve seating available. The premium experience is sold out, but the other two still have a few tickets. So before I let you go, I'm going to bring up two other guys. One is my co-host, Apollo Reed, and the other is my guy, Frank Dobbins of Up Rocks, Burb Your Enthusiasm, because you're all Knick fans. And so we're going to play a little game since you mentioned game. This is what I call Nicktionary, where we put up an image and you guys have to figure out which player this is actually from Knicks history. So this is my guy, Apollo Reed. What up, Apollo?
Yo. What's going on,
What's
man?
going on?
Frank Dobbins.
What's good?
All right, guys.
Frank, what
Yo,
up?
Frank, what's good, bro?
What up?
All right. So this is going to be our version of Nicktionary. And this is the image right here that we're going to go with. So let me pull up the image and see which one of you can actually figure out which New York Knick this is, the quickest.
Is it current or all time?
It's not all time. And it's not a very hard one. My old computer crashed with all of them that I did, but I really wanted to do another one. So I designed this one today. So let's see what we got. Here we go. Here is the image coming up on your screen. Come on, where you at? Oh, it says an issue with your file. Try
No,
we're gonna try again. I don't know what the heck that's all about. I'm gonna try this again. This is ridiculous. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to put it as an overlay because it's not letting me do it. But so here we go.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like a rebus.
Yeah. You gotta put
who the heck is 15?
So Sean.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, Penny Hardaway.
Hey!
Oh, wow.
You and Frank both got it.
Away.
Away. Wow, that was
Hard.
fast, man.
Wow.
That was great. That was
a
great,
good one.
guys.
I don't know,
Appreciate
man.
it, guys.
Frank, we're gonna have to see which. How did you pick that out so quick, man?
That was quick, man. He started with 10. He knew
For real.
Sean
Him
Penn
and
right
Tom
away.
were like, Hardaway. I was like, dang.
Penny. Yeah.
I love it.
That was too quick.
All right. So, Tom, thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to chopping it up with you again. And I will hit you up.
Have time for me. I'm always here.
Awesome, man.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
so
Tom.
much.
Great talking to you.
Great
Nice meeting
evening
you.
and enjoy the game tomorrow. Let's get that magic number down to 9. We're going all the way.
Yes, sir.
That's
Chip
right.
time, baby. Chip time.
Knicks in
See you later,
4.
bro.
A W. Knicks in 4.
All right. My man, Frank Dobbins
What
is
up?
in the building.
What up, Frank?
What up,
that's
everybody?
what
Let's go.
I don't
Knicks.
What's going on, man?
So, Frank, last
Yeah.
episode. Yes,
That's right.
that's
That's
fire.
right.
Last episode, you did not meet our new co-host, Mr. Al from Harlem. So, Al, meet
What's
Frank.
going on, Frank? Nice to meet you, man.
So if giving you a little bit rundown, Apollo knows who Frank is. Me and Frank connected through the whiskey community, just two whiskey content creators that realized that we both loved real hip hop and basketball.
That's awesome.
And so him and I got together one night at a bar and we just talked for hours about hip hop, basketball, life. And I was like, all right, this is one of the real ones. And so built relationship through the years. He's been on the show multiple times. And he's on this episode because when Frank says something like, "Whoa, Frank lost connection," but I'll keep talking about it. When Frank tells me that there are certain people when they tell me about a certain whiskey, and they're intentional to tell me about it, and they're promoting it, not just as like, I'm a whiskey content creator who got sent this bottle, but when he's actually like talking about it, I'm like, all right, I need to be part of that. So there was a brand that came up by the name of Mugen, and I was like, all right, who is this? And I was seeing, some people that I respect, including Frank, talking about it. And a friend of mine named Tony sent me a sample of one of their first drops. And Tony's part of a podcast called the Steady Pour. And so Tony sent me a sample and I was like, yo, this is incredible. So I saw that Frank and him were collaborating on something. I'm like, Frank, what do you think about me getting him on? He's like, hit him up. Let him know you know me. Let's work it out. So I hit up Kojin, who's part of Mugen Spirits, and he was like, let's do it. And so I'm excited because I know these bottles are going to blow our freaking minds. And so most times like I'll crack something before and I'll be like, I'll taste this. I wanted to wait till we were live to have any of these, pours tonight, because I'm really excited to crack into these Mugen spirits right now. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring up Kojin. But first, Frank, how the heck are you doing and how you feeling as a Knicks fan right now?
How could you not feel amazing as a Knicks fan right now? First of all, 2-0, we're on the precipice. We're looking better than ever. I feel great. And you see, I brought out the special because I'm about to get the new one. So I got to wear this while I can.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell me a little bit about how your relationship with Kojin formed.
Yo, it's funny because I actually was in Kentucky. I sat down at a bar and I was just ordering a bunch of crazy stuff. And I just hear this dude at the end of the bar like, oh, wow, that's a great bottle. Oh, that's a great bottle. Oh, wow. And he's just kind of down there talking. And I'm like, you know what, maybe we should share a drink. Let's just drink together and enjoy life. So that's how it started, actually. We just started talking about whiskey. We started talking about Japan because he's from there. And so he knows the whole culture. So it was just a dope organic connection. And we realized that we had so much in common that we should just become friends. So we've had many drinks over the years since then. But that's how it all started.
It's awesome. All right. So we're going to bring him up. What's up, Kojin? How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, nice to meet you, Kojin.
I just want to say that I had Penny Hardaway quicker than Frank in my mind. I wasn't on, but I saw it as soon as I'm like Sean Penn and knee. I'm like, oh, Penny. I was there. I just let the record state, even if no one believes me, that I was there.
I believe you. I don't.
You an NBA fan? You a Knicks fan? What are you, Kojin?
Yeah. So okay, let me say this. I gotta reference the context before I get into what I'm a fan of. So when I came to Japan, I came from Japan. I was 95, 96, right? And I was about 2 years old. So I didn't get to watch an NBA. We didn't really have TV. Immigrants don't really have TV until they have enough money to get TV. You know what I mean? But once we got TV, or when I went to my friend's house, we would be able to watch TV. And back then, sports, there was a weird lag between the West Coast and the East Coast. So when you're talking about big cities and things that were happening NBA in the East Coast, really New York was the only place, because I didn't even know that Chicago existed, but I knew that New York existed because it was the city. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I give you this context because the first time I really got into NBA, honestly, like I said, as an immigrant, is when I watched Space Jam.
Nice.
Now you might think, then he's a fan of Jordan. Now, I became a little bit of a fan of Jordan later, but actually, when I watched that show, I was a kid, so I was like, oh man, who's that huge tall dude? This is it was Patrick Ewing, and I was like, oh shit. So when I was watching that whole show, I was like, he must be the best because he's tall and he's big. You know what I mean? So I started looking at it, and he's on the Knicks, and that's 99. But then my cousins. We're all baseball fans too, because Japan had baseball right? Yeah. So, and then the only Japanese player in the major leagues was Ichiro at the time. Mm-hmm. So we watched Seattle, and because of that, they were also fans of the Sonics, the Supersonics. So I started watching the Supersonics. I'm like, I know Patrick Ewing and Michael Jordan and all that, but I gotta watch the Sonics with my cousins. And then in 2000. He got traded to the Celtics. So for the longest time, I was all on that. The Rashard Lewis, the Nick Baker, Ewing, that was my thing. But since then, I've kind of probably Knicks and Supersonics until it became no longer Supersonics. Gary Payton, RIP, that team. I hope at some point they come back. But New York and maybe Chicago, about the only two places I really paid attention to in the NBA. But now I have a lot of in the bar world. Actually, a lot of my friends are Knicks fans. So I'm back to hearing about the Knicks all the time. So I've been watching the games.
I
Back
love
home.
it.
Yeah.
choice.
Back home.
You know, that makes me
Good
happy
choice.
because that's a long journey back to where you belong.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I just had to express it because, like, I didn't want you to. I just want you to get it twisted. I don't want you to think that, I'm like, oh, go Sonics or anything. But no, I do. I do watch it now. And the Knicks are one of the most exciting. I mean, they were one of the most exciting teams to watch. The last playoffs. So, like, I mean, it's really cool to kind of see them and how they're handling the series right now.
I love it. I love it. You mentioned the Supersonics. I will give you hope. You're not allowed to go back, but you can still enjoy that. But
Exactly.
apparently, they are looking into, Vegas and Seattle to
see.
I told you though, you're not allowed. I'm documenting it right here.
Not allowed.
Tell your
Yeah.
cousins they're not allowed either. All right. No.
I don't want to create any more haters of me via sports, but as soon as I heard Vegas mentioned, I'm like, man, sports that involve Vegas, man.
No,
it's not a good look most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm not really hopeful for it, but we'll see. Who knows?
I hate the idea, and my guy Lee, that's in the chat from one of our post game shows, him and I hate it because the reason they're doing that is because the NBA has gotten so money hungry that they're now partnered everything with all these betting apps, and it's just like now you have kids like from the jump learning about basketball with like betting commercials. Like you're putting this whole thing of like gambling in front of all these young kids' eyes that are watching basketball. I'm just like, yo, this is a slippery slope for the NBA.
I'm actually old school because like as soon as they started putting the sponsors on the jersey, they started putting the sponsors going crazy with the digital on the court. I was like, man, this is not the NBA I grew up with.
Yeah. It's starting to look like soccer jerseys all of a sudden. You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't like it. Like it's not as clean anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You give it like 5 years, and NBA players are gonna look like a NASCAR vehicle. Like,
yeah. I mean, look. I mean. To bring it back to Kentucky, where we are, or where we're talking about, especially with bourbon, like, I'll tell you where it's affected. I mean, Oaks this year, like the Oaks race, the race before Derby, it was like 8:30, 8:40, like PM is when the race happened because they made the deal with the betting apps and they made the deal with I think ABC or NBC. And they just had to get more money. They wanted more money, so they just pushed it. It's and that culture is kind of affecting a lot of sports, including something like the Derby and jockeying and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's not just basketball. It's a lot. It's all throughout.
It's crazy.
It's sad. All right, so let's break into talking a little bit about Mugen, and it's great because sometimes we have a guest that is in the whiskey community, but they don't really know too much about like basketball, so it makes it a little awkward when we're like talking hoops as well. But with you and Frank, this is perfect because we can break it down, we can talk about the game, we can have a sip, we can talk about the game. It's going to be a beautiful night. So, Kozer, let people know because I explained how. You're doing something different, with spirits. You have the Louisville, Kentucky, roots of where you're at right now, the bourbon, like you came from Japan. So you're introducing like legacy and heritage style, Japanese culture into your whiskey. So how did you get involved into the whiskey scene like that? And what is it that you're actually doing that introduces your culture into the whiskey scene?
Man, so it kind of starts out at really at the beginning, and I won't get too much into the beginning because I want to talk about now. But as a kid, moving from Japan to somewhere like from Tokyo, the big city, when I was a kid to New Albany, Indiana, and Louisville, Kentucky, like it went from like big skyscrapers to cows real quick. You know what I mean? So I'm the only Asian kid in school, like not even Japanese, like Asian kid in school. You know what I mean? So I experienced a lot of that in my life. And what happens is you do two things: you either go away, and you kind of separate yourself with everybody because you're different, or you assimilate. And I realized that I have to assimilate, or else I'm not going to have a life. You know what I mean? So. So early on, I just kind of assimilated to the culture around here. So I grew up kind of like basically American. But the thing is, I was still going to a school to learn Japanese on Saturdays because they had a school like that here. Mostly because there's a lot of Japanese people in Kentucky because Toyota has a huge, big manufacturing facility in Bowling Green, Kentucky. There's Hitachi, a bunch of different Japanese manufacturing actually in Kentucky. So there was like enough hub and cultural hub enough randomly in Kentucky to have that kind of like weekend education. So I was kind of learning about Japan. I was going back to see my family in Japan and my grandparents. My parents were already here, and then hanging out with my cousins who are also Japanese and stuff like that, while also kind of living the life here. So I always kind of had a split identity. And culturally split identity is really common, in America, especially if you're one of those like '90s kids where you're barely at the rhythm where like your parents just moved over here and you kind of grew up, but you're still a millennial, so you have all the cultural like things that you were taught as a kid, but then you kind of slowly had to get into the how you do stuff in America at the same time. Like a little bit younger than us, now they're kind of like instantaneously with the internet and everything, they're assimilated, but we didn't have that. We were like the last generation that really had internet growing up until a certain point. So for the longest time, I had kind of a culturally split identity. And fast forward, I was, I kind of went to music school. I was a musician. I produced music for a living for the longest time. It's something I wanted to do since I was a kid. Mainly a lot of hip hop and R&B. It's what I grew up on. Funny enough, my parents listened to a lot of Motown. So that's a lot of what I listened to a lot of it. So, and then I got introduced to hip hop in elementary school. So that's what I always wanted to do. So, and then the thing is, when you're in music, food and drinks, those always kind of come with. It's kind of goes hand in hand. So I was into, and living around Louisville, Kentucky and doing all that, I was always introduced to bourbon and whiskey and stuff like that. Especially in Japan, when I go back, like everybody's drinking whiskey because everybody loves whiskey over there. So I was always into it. And also my grandfather kind of worked in that industry a little bit. So I had a little, thing about it, but I wasn't really into it. Now, once I got into music and I really started doing a lot of music work, I started getting more into it because I started getting a lot of friends, when I was like 26, 27, a lot of friends that were like into whiskey. Now, they weren't just like drinking whiskey just to drink whiskey. They were like, oh, this bottle and this is this brand and they're a legacy brand and this and this and this, So I started getting it with them because, I want to fit in with everything. And we started bringing like cool bottles to, we had like a mini bottle share, without knowing it in the studio and stuff like that. So that was me really in my late 20s. And then COVID happened. And then all of a sudden we stopped drinking with each other, really. Right. So I was like, man, like I'm doing all this like food and beverage stuff, and I really like it in music, but like I didn't really know the history of it. And I live in the mecca of bourbon. I'm like, this is bad. So I started really, really get into learning about it and getting into the history of the craft and stuff like that. And then I started making friends in Kentucky around that. And I realized that I have a lot more people in the industry than I thought around me to teach me this long and kind of take me through the steps of it. So from there, like I just exploded in terms of kind of information and trying new bottles and learning about things. So much so to the point where as I was doing music and podcast work, which was my main gig, I was also doing like little tastings on the side. I was doing collaborative events with other people in the industry and the bars and stuff like that. Even translating Japanese and English for tours for, other places like Suntory and areas like that where they needed my help. So I was kind of getting more and more involved. But when I turned 30, I was like, man, I really want to. I look back at what I've done and I'm like, I did a lot of legacy, but a lot of it's American. And I want to bring something that's Japanese actually into my life. I'm like, I don't know what happens with men like once they turn 30, but like all of a sudden you start thinking about your legacy. You start thinking about what's going to be left when I die. It's like really, really serious all of a sudden. And it happened to me at 30. I'm like, I would like to have something that like, if I die tomorrow, I want something that leaves a legacy of both sides of my culture. But I want it to really reflect both Kentucky and Japan. And that's right when it's like almost like destiny. My now business partner, Justin Delaney, co-founder, he hit me up randomly because he met my dad through some random thing. It was like a whole mysterious conversation, but he emailed me. He's like, hey, your dad tells me, I met your dad randomly, and he tells me that you're a huge bourbon guy, and Japanese, and this and this and this, and you can speak and read and write both. Will you make a Japanese bourbon company with me? And I was like,
Wow.
and dead serious. I was like, first of all, legally that doesn't make sense because you can't really make bourbon in Japan, call it bourbon. But second of all, sounds great. Let's do something. And that was 2020. That was 2024. And we just tried to go through everything, the steps of really setting it up to where we had a product that kind of was culturally relevant a little bit more than the kind of surface level things. Like I didn't want to make it about anime and ninjas and sushi. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to make it a little bit more. So I met a great mentor in Tokyo. His name is Ken Matsuyama. He owns a legendary bourbon bar in Tokyo called Ken's Bar, and he took me under his wing. And other people in the industry, master distillers, they were talking to me, taking me under their wing, and finally we got a product, and it was something that was authentically me. And it reflects my legacy and my family. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Show the bottle. That. What are you doing?
Yeah. So our first bottle that we actually put out was the Yokai Tengu. Now the Yokai series from Mugen Spirit, it's kind of our really popular single barrel series, which we are expanding a little bit. But the art is all done by this is the yokai, the creature in the middle. It's a Japanese kind of like a folklore beast or creature. That's what a yokai is. But Yuko Shimizu, who's an amazing illustrator and artist. She is also a Japanese immigrant that moved to New York. She's actually in New York. So she teaches art at Columbia University, also does amazing illustrations for posters for John Wick, and does Marvel stuff, does Godzilla stuff, children's books, everything. She's sick. But I went up to see her in New York, in Upper Manhattan, and I'm like, look, you're famous and I'm nowhere near famous, but I think we have the same story, and I think we could tell our stories together, generations apart, in one bottle. And she goes, I don't even drink. I'm like, it doesn't matter, because what matters is what bottle means to people rather than just what's inside of it that you can drink. Yeah. So I convinced her, and we started collaborating. So every single yokai that's on the yokai series bottle, all illustrated by her, and we just make the label around her art. So it's very cool. And the cool thing is a lot of people don't know there's a little gold double feathers right here. That's my dad's side, Toshiro side's family crest, and from Japan. And then all the kanji, all the Japanese characters right here that's on the bottle. Those are all handwritten by my mom's side's grandmother. So yeah, she was 91 turning 91 this year. So it involves both sides of my family.
I love that.
Yeah. So cool, yeah,
man. You accomplished your goal, man.
Yeah.
It's so cool because one thing that we're really proud of on this KOT network is every single person that is part of the KOT network is Hispanic, Black descent, like every single person that's part of it, and so for us, being true to our culture, when I have guys like Lee and girls like Ebony, and we all just can feel comfortable in our own skin on our network, there's times we've been doing things on other people's networks and there wasn't that comfortability, it wasn't like you could be completely you, which is why I created this show, because I was like, my two biggest passions are hanging out with someone and having amazing conversations over a glass of whiskey and watching the Knicks. So I don't care if the Knicks community doesn't really know what good whiskey is. They're going to at the end of this season, because I'm going to keep introducing them until they actually want to.
Hell yeah.
And so that's why we're actually putting out a poll right now. We're always trying to do better, and we know that some people love whiskey on the show, some that are watching. Some people are like, why are you talking about whiskey? I came for basketball. So we're putting out a poll right now in the chat. If you guys can take a look at it right now, where we are asking you guys, do you like the way that we're doing it right now, where we keep it as is, we bring people up after a small debriefing of the Knicks and then bring brands up? Do you think we need to move it a little bit? and have pores throughout, and then bring up the brand a little bit later. This whole thing messed up. And then part 3 was talk about the Knicks, and then at the end of the show, bring the guests up. So do we want to do in the beginning like we are now? Do we want to do it towards the middle end, or wait till the end to have the brands tell their story? So if you guys are watching and you're in the chat, do me a favor and let me know what you guys think. What works best for you guys as the viewers? There's 200 plus of you right now watching, so I want your guys' opinions. I want you guys to share what you think. Do we just say, hey, whoever wants to come? If you don't like it, go somewhere. Is that what we do? Do we rock with where it is, or do we make changes? So I want to hear from all of you guys. But before we go into the first 4, let's talk about, you know, what you were talking about like bringing your culture in, because sometimes it feels like, you know, as someone that comes from a different nationality, a different background, the whiskey community can seem a little bit hard to like really feel like you fit, you know, like maybe it's pre-thought ideas that aren't really real, you know, when you're going into it. And maybe some of it is real, you know, but seeing different accounts start sparking up, you know, like Frank's did, and like, you know, my guy Dram Daddy came out, you know, representing his Hispanic heritage through and through. Tony Adams, you know, all the people at Black Bourbon Run. It's showing that whiskey has become a lot more inclusive in the last, you know, 5 years, and I love to see that. So Frank, what are your thoughts as like someone that has made an impact in the whiskey community? Like, what are you seeing when it comes to diversity within the scene?
It's a dope time to be really into whiskey. The thing is, the place we're at right now is that it's become much more inclusive, like you said, but we also have representation, and we have brands that actually respect the fact that people are reaching out and they want to represent the cultures that are supporting them. So I've seen firsthand that a lot of brands are really changing in real time, and they're being more inclusive and opening their doors and saying, hey, how can we evolve? And then you're also seeing more brands that are being started by people of color. Like, obviously, you have a great brand right here, so you have dope representation from the producers, you have dope representation from the consumers, from people in the media. So it's just like a golden age, in my opinion, for diversity in the whiskey industry, which is dope to see. I'm glad to be here in 2026.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Knicks, because Coach has been watching, so I'm gonna test his, little basketball. All right. So our last show,
for sure,
we was before the series started. All right. So let's talk about vibes after game 1. Like, we put literal belt to behind, where the 76ers didn't even play their starters, part of the third and through the fourth, because the game was so out of reach. So I'm gonna throw it to Apollo.
It was so bad.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was hilarious. I loved it. Apollo, I'm gonna let you go because you weren't here for the first half of the show. So what was your thought watching that? Whoa, bro, I want to hear you, bro.
I'm messing with
What was your vibes? What was your vibes when it came to that game? What did you see that really stuck out to you?
Well, I mean, the score was that was. I mean, it's hard to. It got crazy. It got crazy really, really fast, and I was kind of, I was looking, the way the series ended with Atlanta. I'm like, all right, well, that was Atlanta. That's a team that we should have beat. We really shouldn't have struggled with them as much as we did. So maybe that was just how we ended that series. But to start this series that way, that was a big statement. You know what I mean, to me. So I was proud, man. I was happy. I was in there jumping around. My kids was jumping around watching too. They just really played a really, really great brand of basketball, and to be able to see Tyler Kolek and Muhammad Diawara in a playoff game, that means that you did your job. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's I could talk about stats and all that, but it just felt great to watch that game and to start the series off that way.
Yeah, to your point of Atlanta series, a lot of times we talk about how sometimes even in the fourth quarter of a game, the Knicks will take their foot off the gas and you're like, yo, keep accelerating. What are you doing? So after that Atlanta series, I was like, man, all right, we'll see if they can do this again. But it's like they didn't take their foot off the gas going straight into, this series, so the last 3 games, it's just been nonstop acceleration, which was great. And to your point about the bench, you're talking about Kolek and Diawara, but you've really done good when Pacome Dadier is getting some minutes, because my boys are 5 and 8, and they're like, why is Pacome Dadier playing? Like, Pacome Dadier can't play basketball, and like, you got 4 points. Pacome Dadier got NBA playoff points. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Al?
I was gonna say I'm a fan with a lot of PTSD because I've been a fan for this franchise for a long time. So I was over here racking my brain trying to figure out, man, how are they gonna attack us? Who is Jalen Brunson guarding? Like, how are we gonna do this on the defensive end? I wasn't worried about the offensive end. I knew we were gonna. No, they can't stop us. But I was focused on the defensive end. I was worried about where we were gonna stick Jalen Brunson. And the Knicks did a good job. The Sixers did a horrible job trying to hunt him. So that was one thing that I noticed in that game. But the Knicks, man, can't complain, man. They came out guns blazing. The other thing I noticed, I was thinking it was going to be another Cat series, running the offense through him as a hub. But that game really turned into a Brunson game. Like, Cat got in foul trouble. We had to pivot to the Brunson game. So it's nice to have that where we could run the offense now through Cat, and then we could pivot it and run it through Brunson, and then OG's cooking. Like, we're clicking on all cylinders, man. And it feels like we're hitting a championship level of basketball. Like, I don't think I've ever seen the Knicks play this high of a level of basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
To everyone in the chat, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Kojin, I know it's not the Seattle Supersonics, but OG is looking very Sean Kemp meets,
He's looking good, man, honestly. And the thing is, like, as y'all mentioned, I mean, like, I know Cat got into foul trouble a little bit afterwards, but I think I didn't even mind it that much because I feel like him being on one in that force kind of led to where there was a lot of kind of like, oh, which way is this going to go? Like, what do we need to guard? It kind of really threw the defense off in general. So when Brunson was like ready to cook, he was ready to cook, you know what I mean? And he was definitely crazy on that game. But also, I think the only thing, I mean, even game 1 and game 2 together, I think Tyrese on the other team, like, honestly, he was, I feel like Knicks kept him from really having too much of a big moment on either game, you know what I mean? And I think OG did great offensively, and was, like, and the defense, like the threes, everything all together. But I feel like defensively, on the other hand, for OG, like, he was really holding down anybody in the on Philly, like, for really doing any crazy work. So I think that combination is actually really what did it well. I mean, besides just the horrible defense that was being presented in front of us, where Nick just basically took full advantage of.
Yeah, and it's a great point. We have been able to lock down the stars that we need to lock down. When you have players like Embiid and Maxey, one of them's going to cook. But the goal is to make sure not both of them cook. And so we're doing a great
make
job
it a Paul George game.
Exactly. And so for me, my X factor this whole playoff series has been OG and Anunoby, and as a Sonic fan that you are, like, I see him playing as if, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, and Detlef Shrimp had this like weird, collaboration. And he's shooting like Detlef Shrimp. He's powerful like Sean Kemp, and he's defending like Gary Payton. So he's giving you childhood vibes all over again. So tell your cousins, come on over. There's room here at the Knicks franchise.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, man, that honestly, that wingspan and everything all together, it's just like the swiftness with that wingspan. Like, it is giving me those those vibes, man. Like, you know, and Kemp was one of them. Like he could activate offensively, but a lot of people forget. Maybe not all, but a lot of people forget that he was very, very good defensively too.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, like if they keep that in place and, like you said, hold the 2 stars from doing what they do, you know, and Embiid, honestly, if you just keep on you know, hitting offensively, especially threes, he's gonna come high up. He's gonna have to work, and everybody knows he doesn't have stamina.
Yep.
So you work him enough in the second half, he's not gonna be that useful anyway. So I mean, I think if you just do the work and just really do the offense that like Knicks are like even halfway like good at, you know, like if they do it to their full, there's no way they can stop them.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so Frank, before we go into the first pour, what did you see that stuck out to you in game 1? Where do you want to give your flowers, bro?
Ooh, I want to give my flowers, honestly, to defensive adjustments. I think that the way we were attacking Maxey, like as he was bringing the ball up the court, kind of forcing him into some tough decisions, forcing Embiid into some tough decisions, that was what I was really, really happy to see. The Knicks are a great team defensively, so it didn't shock me. But the fact that we were making adjustments in game that really were effective and kind of putting the onus on the young point guard to see some things in our defense and really kind of attack on the fly, you could see it jam them up. You know, like there were things that they wanted to do. It made me sad actually to see Quentin Grimes struggle because I wish he was still a Knick. But but at the same time, like the fact that he was kind of forced into some of those actions also on offense, and we put him in uncomfortable situations, like that's really what made me happy to see.
Yeah. You know, what's crazy to me is we've played the like style of basketball that I've been asking the Knicks to play for like the past 10 years. You know, like we've played the level of basketball, especially like ever since Brunson came. This is the kind of basketball that I've wanted to see because I knew that it was a possibility. And so when you look, the key factors for me that stood out to that game were first, the defensive rebounds. I mean, the rebounds in general, we outshined them 39 to 28 rebounds. You get 11 more rebounds than a team in a game. That is multiple second chance opportunities for you and not for them. Like that's going to make a big difference, especially when we go in transition and you see our guys moving with the rebound now, as opposed to everything being slow up the court. So that was a huge thing. And then the thing that I have preached from day one is assists. If this team gets more than 30 assists a game, they are guaranteed to win. The stat is like 85% of the games that we have 30 plus assists, we win. 85%. We only lose 15% of the games where we have 30 or more assists in the last like last 2.5 years. So I'm like, why would you ever go
crazy
from that? And so we had way more assists than them. We had 34 assists that game, and they had 15. Like we locked them down. That was beautiful, beautiful basketball. And I'm looking forward to this next game that we're going to talk about, game 2. But first, we're going to go into our first pour. All right. So, Kojin, I'm going to let you lead the way on which one we need to sip first.
So, you know, there's different ways to do this because, you know, obviously there's people that like to go by proof. They go do by, you know, lower proof and then to higher proof. Or we can go by kind of like which one has the more delicate palate, stuff like that. But honestly, since my man Frank is here and he was the first inaugural kind of like partner on this on creating the first bottle and getting it out to the world, I want to start with the Nobunaga.
Okay. All right. And
now
let's pull that up right there. Yep.
Wow.
Boom.
Yeah. So this bottle, man, is so cool. So the reason, there's several reasons why this bottle is very unique in its own way, and there's a reason why, you know, me and kind of Frank kind of did this together for the first inaugural one. Everything has a meaning. That's the one thing we do really well, I believe, in Mugen. We don't we're like National Geographic like researchers.
Yeah.
For like a week and a half before we even choose what we're going to put on labels. You know what I mean? So when we thought about Nobunaga is a guy that kind of, everybody thinks of him as a shogun, but he skipped the shogun level. He went from like being under a shogun to straight being a daimyo, which is like kind of like the ruler, right? And the way he did it is because he was really smart. He was ruthless, but he was also smart in his tactics. And one of the coolest things he did was he actually was one of the first people in this war era of unifying Japan to actually use like Western weapons and Western tactics. Like he was the first one to be like, hey, they got these things called guns. We should probably use guns. They're pretty strong. You know what I mean? Like everybody, but, you know, he was really interested in it. He's like, can we make this? Like, how can we make this better? How can we implement it into our fights and stuff like that? He also loved Western food. He's like, hey, this food, if you do this, like if you do that, like it tastes better. It might last longer, so you can take it longer in battle. And he also liked sweets too as well. He was very big into in the years that, you know, sugar was very valuable. He was very much into sweets, and he believed that we had to take in that culture and be a part of it rather than kind of shun it away, which a typical kind of like strong island nation would do, to kind of further on and be a better country and be better at becoming a more stronger unified Japan.
Hey, Coach Kojin, I don't want to cut you off, but this is reminding me of Jalen Brunson, like skipping steps to become the man. You know what I'm saying? Like enjoying West Coast culture. He went from the Mavs to the Knicks. Like I'm starting to see some vibes where it's like Jalen Brunson embodied. But go ahead. I
didn't even see that. That's crazy. That's actually really relevant. No, but and also we're talking about the Knicks and the Supersonics too. You know what I mean? But because that's me in this nutshell. You know. But also Nobunaga. So he was a really, really big guy in kind of combining the cultures outside of Japan and inside Japan. And that's why on the back of the bottle, if you can see right there, so Nobunaga had a Japanese signature, but that's his Western signature. Wow. He had a Western sideways signature too, because he thought it was cool. So I put it on the back. But the reason why all this matters is because what we did with this bottle was something I don't think anybody's done before, which is we took 15-year-old Kentucky Street Bourbon, right? Which pretty good. A lot of people might know the term buff turkey, but we took that, but we wanted to elevate to a second level, a next level. So what we did was we brought, now a lot, when I say Japanese whiskey casks or ex-Japanese whiskey casks, everybody's like, oh, is it Mizunara? And that is not what we did. We didn't use a Japanese wood whiskey cask per se. We actually got whiskey cask that used to have Japanese whiskey in it in Japan. I went there, selected it myself right after they dumped the Japanese whiskey, and smelled inside every single one. And I'm like, this one. Brought 5 of those casks, which were actually originally ex-bourbon casks that went to Japan to get filled. Oh wow! Brought 5 of them back, pretty much on my back to Japan, and then I got it fixed up by Kelvin. Shout out to Kelvin. And then rehydrated it, and then dumped this 15-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon in there for another like months for secondary aging. And the barrel's from a place called Chichibu, Japan. And while I can't disclose the exact distillery, there's only like one distillery that everybody knows from there. It's a very famous distillery. And they created the first Japanese kind of whiskey culture to combine not Japanese whiskey with other whiskeys around the world. So there's that collaboration. And then there's 2, the Japanese whiskey being dumped and brought back, you know, and unifying the trade between Japan and America. So that's 2. And then 3, like the flavor inside of it is Japanese whiskey and all these different whiskeys that were inside that blend kind of combining and giving new character that's otherwise probably not in a lot of other barrels in this bottle. So, and then on top of that, I was like, man, we gotta keep on creating the theme. So I was like, an Asian whiskey lover, a black whiskey lover coming together to creating something that's never been done before. I mean, that's iconic in a bottle. So we're like, so I called him up. I called Frank up. I'm like, yo, you know, it's got to be you, right? And he's like, I'm already there. And then we made it happen.
Number 1 draft pick, baby.
It was number 1 draft pick.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
Do you guys disclose which Kentucky bourbon you use under Mugen Spirits, or is it just kind of like, if you figure it out, figure it out?
Well, I mean, as I just kind of like mentioned, this is the 15-year stuff in here is buff turkey. So it's like the Buffalo Trace contract distilled for Wild Turkey juice that's 15 years old. Now the other ones, I can kind of talk about it, but based off of what information's on the internet, you can probably figure it out. But for me, I don't have a certain thing that I put in all my bottles. I just pick what's good and put it in the bottle. So it's less about to me. Also, I don't put I put information on it, obviously, but I don't put too much information on it. I think this whole culture of, and not just like whiskey, but a lot of things. I feel like everybody wants too much transparency in creative things. And it's like, I think sometimes too much transparency. Oh, I want to know this. I want to know the mash bill. I want to know this. I think takes away from the experience of, hey, just drink it. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. You know what I mean? Is it good or is it not good? I think it distracts. And I think it actually kind of masks sometimes. Like you hear something and you know you're going to be like, oh, well, if it's that from that distillery or that age, you know what I mean?
That's a great point, because one thing that I always talk about is I've never been a Dickel fan. Just, it's not my thing. Like, I don't drink Dickel at all. Like, someone brings Dickel to a bottle share, and I'm like, yeah, you're uninvited. That's how I see Dickel. No offense to Dickel if they're watching this. But when I found out from somebody that one of my favorite rare characters might have been, like, produced by Dickel, which was their TKO series, I was just like, wait a minute, what? Like, there's no way in God's green earth this delicious strawberry bubblegum came from ill-tasting Dickel. Like, no way.
Yeah.
And it just shows that, like, you know, if someone would have said, oh, this is Dickel juice, I probably never would have drank TKO, would have never gave it a shot. So I don't know if that rumor is true or not, but it is what it is. All right, so let's have a sip, and I want to hear everybody's thoughts. But Frank, how did it feel being like, when I'm looking at it, he's like, you know, the black and the Japanese, it's like, this is like, you know, whiskey's rush hour. You know, this is, you know, you know?
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it, but
whiskey's rush hour,
bro.
Yo, it was such an honor. Like I said, like me and Coach are boys. Like we talk all the time. Like I'll hit him up about things that are completely unrelated to whiskey. So the fact that he would reach out to me to be the #1 draft pick, you know, I felt like, you know, I was getting that call. I was in the green room and I'm like, I didn't even know that I was on the board. But now I'm so excited to be on the team. Like I'm wearing the hat, I'm wearing the jacket. I actually got a Mugen Spirits jacket. So like I'm wearing that out now. Like I feel like I'm part of the team. So it was an honor, honestly. It was a real honor.
Mugen jackets. I think the Knicks Nightcap need to wear those sometime. You know, those sound fire.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We gotta come back up on it.
Everyone get a sip. Let me know what you think. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. And honestly, this pour, I have to say before go, like I created this because I really wanted something that bourbon lovers could still get behind, but something that's different. You can always make something that's different, but I didn't want to abandon the bourbon, the pure bourbon lovers too. So that's kind of the mentality I had when I got into making this.
Yeah, it's like a love letter from Kentucky to Japan, and it tastes like frozen envelopes to me. I don't know about anybody else, but getting Patrick Ewing vibes.
It's like frozen envelopes.
That's funny.
All right, Apollo. What do you think, Apollo?
It was really, really fruity. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's like the first thing that I got.
Yeah.
Like a stone fruit kind of taste. Just and the thing about it is I thought it was gonna be really like spicy, and then it was like fruit right away. Like it was the first thing that I tasted. I was like, whoa, hold on. I don't know if you guys rewinded, like the first time I took a sip, I made a face. And that's exactly why I made that face. I was like, yeah, this is really, really good, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
What is your thoughts on Oh, go Kojin. Yeah.
No. I was just gonna say, man, like one of the really interesting things about this is it just changes every single time it gets lower or more oxygen or things. So it's an ever changing bottle. So everybody might get this a different note out of the same bottle. So that's the great thing about this bottle.
Love it. All right, Al, what do you get?
I've noticed that happens with my bottles too. Like if you let it sit and you come back, you might get different notes the next time. When I tasted this tasted like bright cherry, but not like any other cherry that I've tasted in bourbon. Like I don't know how to describe it. This it's like I say bright because it's like such a vibrant, delicious cherry. Like, oh man, it's so good. Like I don't it's hard for me to describe, but yeah, I get a burst of cherry right here, and it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I love it.
Fire.
This is so good. For me, I get that cherry. I get a lot of dark fruit, but like, I think the reason it tastes kind of different is it like reminds me of like what is it? Like a compote, where you like cook, fruit in like sugar and like water, and it gives you that like different taste to those fruits. So I get like that, and I get like the immediate taste of the food of the gods, cacao, like straight cacao. Yeah. It is just like a perfect blend, because you get those chocolatey notes, you get the dark fruit notes, even maybe some like prune, but you get the oak that you love from bourbon. Like the hints of the spice are so complementary to the sweetness. Like sometimes the oak hits and it's like it's good because it's oak, but it doesn't really play nice with the sweetness. Like this just feels like everything, and I think that's why Al is saying it tastes so different, because I think the flavor notes that we're getting from the Japanese barrels are different. It's taking the notes that we love from bourbon and tweaking them into something that we've never tasted before. And so, this is
Phil.
Banger.
Where are you getting the cacao? Because I started tasting it just now on the finish, right? Because like in the front of the palate, you get the cherry right away, right? And then after you finish it and you start tasting the finish, that's when you get the chocolate to start to come out a little bit. Is that
I
what
get
you
it in
tasted
the front and the beginning? So for me,
in the front? Okay.
For me, I'm getting it like if you were to go to like a Michelin star restaurant and then have their own version of like a dark chocolate covered cherry, like you get it on that first bite and then you still get the flavors of it at the end. But that that cherry's so bright in the middle there. So I get it like on the tongue, but then I get it all down the back when I'm finishing the pour. That's where you get a lot of the cacao.
That's so dope to hear, because I'm with Al. Actually, I get it a lot on the finish, and I remember when we picked this barrel that I got that chocolate on the finish. So it's interesting to hear that like you're getting it kind of throughout, because I love that note. I feel like it's one of the things that drew me to this cask in particular. So that's dope.
Also, it's also funny because I don't know if it's the exact bottle that we got, but when we first did it, we had 5 bourbon casks, the ex bourbon casks that we brought back from Japan, and 4 of them were Heaven Hill casks.
Okay.
And only one of them was a Four Roses OESK cask. And I was like, and we were blinded to like Frank didn't really know which one was which. Like he just kind of tasted them, and the one he picked happened to be the one Four Roses cask, which makes sense because we're both Four Roses fans as well. So it was really interesting. But the one thing I will say is the one note that I really found in these that I really like that I don't really find in a lot of bourbon is red apple. It has that red apple skin, red apple skin type flavor to it, which I really love. It is very bright, vibrant apple, and I think that really is something that comes from the Japanese whiskey. When I had just the 15-year-old by itself without finishing it in Japanese cask, it was a lot of the notes they taste like fruit, sweet, oak. I got those. It just didn't give me anything too much after that, so it was one of those things. Like, it's good, but what are we going to do just doing good?
Yeah.
So when we put in that, it had body, but didn't have character. It didn't have a beginning and end. So I feel like the Japanese cast, really what they did was gave it a beginning and end to give it a full story. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what this bottle did.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that, man. You killed this out the park.
I think
Appreciate
that's the note, the red apple note. I think that's the note that paired with the cherry was making me think like, what am I tasting? Because I taste the cherry, but it's not the same cherry that you typically taste in a bourbon where people are like, oh, it's a cherry bomb. You know what I mean? This is a cherry, but it's because the red apple is like present there, and I didn't even realize that that's what it was.
Yeah.
I love hearing like what other people taste on the palate, because then sometimes I go back and I'm like, oh snap, I taste that too. And now it was there the whole time.
Phil used to do that to me all the time.
Look for it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. So as we finish sipping on this absolutely ridiculous pour, what does this go for? What, like, I know they're all sold out. I'm pretty sure.
You can't get it. It's over. It's sold out. I got the email, and I think I was too late
we got
on the email.
we got a couple more things coming coming, so don't worry about that. But so the Nobunaga is is kind of our high end line. It's something that we're not going to do all the time, but when we find something fun and interesting, we'll do it. So these are at 350 MSRP. Okay. So yeah, which to me, I try to put it. I was on the consumer side way before I was doing this, so yeah. I try to put it at the best price that we could do it with this stuff, because this stuff, 15-year Kentucky straight bourbon, especially from this distillery and stuff like that with the provenance, it's not cheap. And then on top of that, getting barrels from Japan and shipping it to America, that ain't cheap either. But I just wanted to make it a price where people can still agree with it and be able to enjoy it and be able to pop it and drink out of it. So that's where it was. So that's kind of our higher end option.
I don't think it's a bad price, because there's some buff turkeys that, were in the same price point, and everything was done here in the States, and it was just a barrel, it wasn't finished in a Japanese barrel or anything like that. I'm assuming secondary is up to probably 1,000 or more on secondary. Is that what we're assuming?
But you know what?
Yeah,
the thing is about that, like, again, I'm getting Jalen Brunson vibes. Like, you could get it for 1,000 on secondary, but like, it's taking less money. He's getting $350 for it up front, so it's kind of. I
like how it's putting that together, man.
I'm asking for myself, because there's some bottles that I'm down to put up on, on some of those groups tomorrow for trade.
Well, I will say this. A lot of people don't really. I think the most I've seen on auction is like maybe like $600 something. Like on secondary still. A lot of people. I think a lot of people haven't really realized what it is. But I would get it sooner than later, because we only have like maybe like a few more barrels of this, and this is not a place. The reason I chose these barrels is because it's not a place that sells barrels at all. They just through the connection that I have with Japan and the utmost bowing that I've done in my life got me this allowed me to get these barrels. But with that being said, it's I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen again. At this capacity. So once it's out, it's out. It's not like a very repeatable thing. So get it now when people are buying it at that, because I'll buy it at that price, because
I think I'll still get it at that price.
I'm definitely gonna throw up trade tomorrow. I have some purple tops that I don't mind, trading for them. I love some purple tops, but dang, that bottle.
Hey.
Here's the thing: I don't want to have regrets, because I had an opportunity to trade for, Frank's original Old Cassidy, and I didn't get my hands on it. And
I remember that.
One of the biggest regrets that I've ever had was not like trading for that when I had the opportunity. And now it's just like impossible. And they came out with another one, which was absolutely delicious, but compared to the original,
it ain't Frank's.
It's not Frank's OG, and so
it's not Frank's OG.
It's not Frank's OG. So I don't want to. I don't want to do the same thing and go, oh, I got this. But it's not Frank's, so I got to get Frank's.
Yeah, right. Everybody was looking at the price of the original one, and they're like, oh, and then as soon as I saw it come out, I'm like, flip. I'm like, get. I was like,
buy now.
I was like, man, buy now. As soon as I decoded what was inside that bottle, I'm like, it's out of here. I'm in it.
I love it.
It's only going for $3,000 on auction now, guys.
Oh yeah.
It's
God! Wait a minute. I thought it was. I was sold on 600.
It's reasonable.
There's only I only have like 6 ounces of it left. Lost profits.
His old Cassidy, his old Cassidy, not this one. His old Cassidy. So you're good, Al.
Which is a great value. Yeah, which is a great value. 600.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. So amazing pour, amazing first game.
Thank you for this. Oh my god.
Second game, not as amazing, yet we still got the victory.
Yes,
108
We did.
to 102. A little bit, concerning on a few things that we want to talk about. Talked to the guys earlier about like some topics we wanted to hash out. And the first one I want to say is talking on a positive note. So shout out to my girl B. She's absolutely in love with this guy. But Mikal Bridges, he has been the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the New York Knicks. In the playoffs, I mean, in the regular season,
Yeah.
he looks like Doug Funny. And in the playoffs, he becomes Quail Man. Like, I don't know what the heck, happens with that guy. Sorry, that's my old Nickelodeon days, dating me. But I don't know what the heck happened to Mikal Bridges, but he became a different player as soon as the regular season ended. So I got to give him his props. And here's the thing. I said in the regular season to Al and Apollo, I said, listen, if he shows up, I'm all down with like ignoring everything that happened in the season. Like I'm okay with ignoring the tragic situation, dumpster fire that he was in the regular season. But if he doesn't show up in the playoffs, I will fly to New York and pack his bags for him. But he has shown up and he has earned his keep as a New York Knick and has delivered in that Hawks series. And even more so, he's not just delivering defensively now, but he's also contributing offensively. So I'll go to you first, Al. What are your thoughts on what you're seeing from Mikal Bridges?
So Mikal Bridges, man, he had a good game in that blowout game against Atlanta. And I was thinking like, all right, is this just a flash in the pan? Is this going to carry over? And then he had a really good game 1 too. And then in game 2, he had another great game too. And the whole time he's been playing great elite defense. He shut down Maxey in game 1. Frank, did you know that game 1 was the first time that Maxey hasn't scored over 20 points since February? He had that boy in jail.
Let's go.
Crazy.
So Mikal, he's been doing his thing, man, and I can't complain. Like, this is night and day from what he was doing in the regular season. So maybe he was just saving, all his powers for the playoffs. And look, man, if I'm gonna echo what Phil said, if we go to the championship and we win it all, I will never ever speak about them picks ever again.
That's a fact. All right. So before I throw it to Frank to talk about Mikal, I do want to, Kojin, you had talked about, your love for hip hop, my love for hip hop, before I was doing this and before I was a photographer, I made music full time. And that was my love as well. And I know Frank, doing interviews with Up Rocks and everything like that. He loves hip hop. Matter of fact, I'm working on a track right now with Sky Zoo, who's also a huge New York.
Oh, wow.
And so
Give it up for that.
Yeah, Sky Zoo.
He's dope. Yes,
That's
sir.
fire.
So it's the first time in 10 years 12 years since my brain tumor surgery that I'm actually putting out music again. And so I'm excited for that project. But this group that we talked about earlier with that artist, he creates really dope New York Knicks merch with a group called Bacher Back Pages. And a lot of it is very hip hop influenced. So I want to show you guys these because I think that you guys would freaking love these. So like this right here, this is their JB Doom.
Woo!
Come on. Shout out to Madlib.
Yep.
Shout out.
So that's a fire one right there. Then they got this one right here, one of my favorites, A Tribe Called Knicks.
Ooh, oh man. Tribe.
Yeah.
That's the first hip hop I listened to on vinyl.
Yes, it was one of my favorite groups of all time.
I bought that
Knicks
shirt.
set.
The Knicks set.
Knicks set.
Knicks bet.
Man, as a generation that touched on a little bit of that Dipset days, that's hilarious.
JB.
I like this
That's
one.
fire. I
JB.
like that.
This one's a
Dynasty.
fire one.
Come
Oh
on.
man, Illmatic.
Yeah.
These are so
fire.
ill.
So
Shout out to Nas.
Oh, he got automatic on the side. It's scribbled
Yep.
out. That's fire.
Here's another Doom one he's got. That
Food.
one's freaking insane.
I even like that one even better. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then this Raekwon one right here.
Oh, that's fire.
Only
Shout out
built
to
in New
Raekwon.
York Knicks. That's
Brunson
tough.
Yeah,
Chef.
that's fire.
Woo.
Yeah. And then this one right here. This little Mob Deep one right here.
That's sick.
Fire.
Fire.
Wow.
This Liquid Swords one is insane.
Yeah.
The woo. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we need the Liquid Swords for every single series. Like we need the Atlanta one, we need the
Yep.
Sixers one.
Oh, Josh Hart.
Josh Hart.
Get chips and die trying.
Get chips and die trying. This one's fire right here. This little Lloyd Banks one right here. Oh,
No man.
Oh, that's fire.
Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I don't care about that one. Where's the other ones that I wanted to show you?
So far, there's two people that I'm not seeing. That's New York that I'm getting sad about.
Tyler the Creator.
Okay.
I need a Busta Rhymes one,
Oh,
and I
extinction
need-
level.
and I need Rakim.
Big Run.
I need that's
Yo, why
Big
he
Run
making?
is
oh Big
crazy.
Run,
Why he
Capital
making?
punishment. And why?
dude, that's crazy.
Why they making fat?
OG
Yeah, he
Unit.
had honey buns in his
Oh,
cheeks.
gee,
That's
unit.
OG unit.
Dude, that's wild. That's hilarious.
I like that.
OG unit. I like that.
Action Brunson. Instead
That's
of Action
fire.
Bronson.
Jackson Brunson. That's
That's
fire.
fire.
This one right here. There you go, bro. Boom.
Iron Man.
Oh wow.
Iron Miguel.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Trying to find one of my favorites that I wanted to show you guys. They got State Property up here.
Okay.
They got Camera
Oh wow.
Funny.
Killer Cam.
Hilarious.
Oh, this one's fire. I love this one. NYK Aliens instead of AT
Okay.
Oh,
Aliens.
ATL.
Okay.
That one's fire. But yeah, just a brand for anybody that is a New York fan.
Oh my god.
That's
Born
crazy.
to play basketball.
So yeah, so anyone who's a hip hop fan and a Knicks fan, this is a really dope brand. This J. Cole one right here that they got.
Oh man.
This other-
KOD.
That's
this
fire.
other
KOD,
JB
yeah.
one. This one's fire as well.
Oh, Life of Times. That's fire.
So this is my
Hard
favorite
too.
one right here. All right, who knows this album? Come on.
Oh, that's Black Star. Come
Oh.
on.
That's Black. Yeah, that's Black Star. Yeah.
Yes, that's my favorite
fire.
shirt of all
Most
of them right
Def and
there.
Talib
Black Star is one of my
Kweli.
favorite albums of all time.
Mhm.
So if anybody is a hip hop fan and you're interested in supporting a good brand, check them out. Here's another
Deuce Nicola.
Cole
Cold World. Oh man.
Cold World. That's fire.
World. So
The
yeah,
entire
anyway.
Kolick. That's hilarious.
That's really cool. I love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody in the chat. There's over 245 of you guys in the chat right
What up,
now.
y'all?
Shout out right there to Jean Shorts and Tim's. Shout out to Diana.
Yeah, that's my sis. That's my sis.
Hey,
What up, sis?
Diana, nice
What up,
to meet
Diana?
you. Appreciate you. I saw you on some text messages with Al about checking out the show. So appreciate you so much for coming out. Shout out to my girl Nixon is. Shout out to K Stone up in the building. We got Bogus Macaroni.
Bogus Macaroni. That's my guy.
Yes, sir. Prezi the boss is in the building.
Prezi was good.
Prezi.
Potato. Giving everybody an update. The Pistons have now gone 2-0. They put the belt to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now they're up 2-0. So that is most likely who we will see in the finals is the Pistons. All right. So
Good.
let's talk about Mikal a little bit more. I'll go to you, Frank. What are your thoughts on what you're seeing from Mikal Bridges?
I mean, the last game he had what, 20 points, 18 points, something
18.
like that.
18, yeah.
Yeah.
So he
18.
was putting it up. And the thing about Mikal is like, I think it was mentioned earlier, he does it on both ends of the floor. He's a great defender. He's rangy. He's got the length, but he also can put up that mid-range shot where you're like, he's a problem. He's going to give them problems all series. So I love Mikal. I think that if he keeps it up, he's going to apply pressure, especially if OG is out. If OG Anunoby is out, Mikal is going to be the next man up to be a primary defender and a primary scorer. So I love what he's doing so far in this series. I want to see him continue that. Hopefully OG comes back. But if he doesn't come back, I think Mikal is primed to have, 25 points and be in kind of that range as a secondary or a third scorer behind JB and Cat.
Yeah. It's crazy because, like, we don't need Mikal to be a superstar. We just need Mikal to be consistent to win. And he's been consistent defensively in the playoffs, but now he's being consistent these 2 games offensively as well. And that is something that sets us apart. Because we can have a game where Jalen or Cat go off for 30, but if everyone else is putting up 8, we could still walk away with an L. But if Jalen and Cat are putting up 20 and OG and Mikal are putting up 17, 18, now all of a sudden it's a different game. Now all of a sudden there's less pressure on our bench to actually have to produce because they can just do what they have to do, keep the lead, get us a little bit more of a lead, but they don't have to make up a deficit, which is where we would suffer in the season. So we're not going to talk about Mikal anymore, but what we are going to talk about is Karl Anthony Towns. All right. And I'm going to go with you first, Al, because this is something that we were talking about in the chat. Cat was incredible in that first series. Running the offense through him is the smartest thing that we could have done in the playoffs. It makes everybody else better. And JB looks like a stud when Cat is running the offense and they have to second guess what Cat's going to do. But what's limiting us right now, luckily it didn't limit us as much in that first game, but in the second game, it limited us more because we had to have Cat sit for half the game. Because of his foul trouble. So what are you seeing from Cat? Like, this is something that we were celebrating in the last season that he reverted from, was fouling, on the defensive end, and his defense was stellar. What do you think is causing the issues in these first 2 games?
Yeah, in the last series, like you said, I was celebrating the fact that we were no longer seeing Cat with the stupid fouls, the little chicken wing that he led the league in offensive fouls this year in the regular season. No stupid fouls, no dumb turnovers, and we were confidently running the offense through him. And now come to this series, I always thought we might have a foul issue with him in this one because Joel Embiid is a 7-foot flopper. Like, this guy, you touch him 100%. And he's on the floor. To the point where I have one of my cousins in my Knicks group chat. He has an active count of how many times Embiid flops in the game, and it gets up to like in the 10s every game. So that was game 1. Like, I knew that was going to happen in game 1. In game 2, what happened was he was just getting kind of caught out of position. Maxey was, a lightning bolt, and he was picking up, fouls like that, trying to run back into position. I saw him be a little aggressive, too overly aggressive, like a little too excited in the first game, and I knew he was going to pick up his second foul in the first quarter. And I think he's trying to he's trying to set the tone, right? He's trying to play that tough playoff defense, but like he's got to realize what kind of whistle they're blowing that game, and if they're going to be calling ticky-tacky fouls, he's got to chill out because we need him. Like, we're going to need him down the stretch. So it's really important for him to like be careful with his fouls, especially if we're playing the double big lineup, because if he's getting in foul trouble and Mitch is getting in foul trouble, now we're staring at Hukporti minutes, which can, it may good or it may not be good. You know what I mean? So we got to be careful.
Yeah. It was a great point because you have to play, like Nix and Ish said, we need Cat in this series. So he has to play more disciplined. Like, when you realize that Mitch is not available, you have to think better. Like, you have to make better decisions. Like, when you have Mitch, it gives you a little more freedom. But when you don't have Mitch and your next best option is Hukporti, and Hukporti hasn't really been getting any burn for quite a while, especially in like actually important play time minutes. Like, you have to make smarter decisions to put your team in a better position to win. Making fouls that just weren't necessary. A lot of them were bumps. A lot of them were just like not, reaching in for something you don't need to reach in for.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
when you know that, like, you swing your arms to draw the foul from the other person, like, you should at least know, because you're so good at that other people do that too. So that should make you like be mindful of it and say, I have to pay attention to this stuff. So Cat definitely has to play better, because honestly, in that first series, he was our MVP. Like, he seriously was our MVP. And we need that. It allowed Jalen Brunson to cook, but it also allowed Jalen Brunson to struggle if he needed to struggle, because it was opening up things for other people. And these 2 games, we have not seen that, especially in that second game. So that was frustrating. And so for me, I think that, Cat is very, very important, and he needs to get that under control. So Kojin, I'll talk to you about what you saw in that game. What did you see in that series as opposed to the other that you think like kept Cat a little more loosey-goosey with how he was defending, and not really mindful of what could happen with what he was doing?
I think the foul trouble was kind of scary, because like in a series where you don't know what's going to happen in terms of player arrangement and also just injuries, like it happens all the time in these series. Like you can't be especially in series 2, like you can't come on, like you can't be that everywhere and expect that that's going to last the whole time. And second of all, another thing that like I really do want to mention, that I kind of saw throughout game 1 and game 2, or rather like game 1 versus game 2, is game 2 there was a lot more careless shots, a little bit, I felt, in my position. I think game 1, like, Brunson's killing it. He was making, I think it was like 70% of his shots. And then the next game, Cat's making like maybe half of his shots, and taking weird ones when he could have just kind of stuck to just more steady classic stuff, more safe stuff, per se. Brunson was not hitting everything the way he was in game 1, and overall, I just think the average just field goal percentage was just kind of dropping a little bit, and I think it's a little bit careless. And although I do think that he really kept his defense with, especially, like Maxley, I think he still kept it to a certain point, and that's that defense that they stuck to really, really, allowed them to win this one. But man, they're gonna have to move the ball around a little bit more, and they're gonna have to shoot a little bit. I mean, even if they shoot less like field goals, they just need to have a little bit more consistent scoring, because without that, it can really easily slip away, like it almost did in game 2.
Yeah, and it's a great point, because it all stems from who our MVP was in the first series. Like, the reason that you saw Jalen Brunson suffer in that last game, like, consistency wise, shooting 42% for the night, was because Cat was out for more than out for like 20 something minutes of the game. And when you have your other main scorer, and some of those minutes OG was out with what was happening to his leg. So when you have your main guy that people are having to question in the last series and in game 1, and he's not on the court, now you're relying solely on Jalen Brunson's offense. And Jalen Brunson doesn't create for his teammates as easily as Cat creates for his teammates. And when Cat is facilitating, it makes JB's shots that much easier. It makes it more of a wise shot. JB actually second guesses whether it's a right shot or not, as opposed to when he's the one dribbling with the idea, I need to score. And so Cat being out makes us suffer in those minutes defensively and offensively. Really puts us in a poor position. And we're going to talk about some rotation stuff. I see, Knicks and Ish has some comments that, I completely aligned with her, that I talked about with my girl Ebony. But first, we're going to go into this next pour, and then we're going to talk about this OG Anunoby situation and what Mike Brown can do in this situation. So let's go into this one. This is the Yokai series. This is the Kuko 9-year. This is 2016. So has this been released yet?
So this is our new 2026 series that we released of the Yokai series. And the first one we did we did kind of a masculine, very like, you know, warrior energy Tengu. And so the next one we decided, hey, we wanted to do something a little bit more on the complex, more kind of feminine energy side that's a little bit more delicate, a little bit more of those adult bitter type notes, something that kind of tastes almost like a breakfast for dinner. So you know, and that's why I chose this series. So for these Kukos, at least for this colorway, now there's going to be another colorway coming soon, which is going to be kind of segue into a different barrel series. But this barrel series right now that you have in your hand, this is a wheated recipe. So it is 70% corn, 15% wheat, but then it's 10% honey roasted malt, kind of like what they do in beer. So
what percent?
10% honey roasted malt.
Okay.
And then 5% distiller's malt. So 70, 15, 10, 5. So it's not really a 4 grain, but it almost kind of is a 4 grain in a sense. But it just, and they're all in Kelvin barrels. So you're already going to get that dark, like luscious kind of mouth feel, and those tobacco-y, leathery notes that you will often get in a high char Kelvin.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the Kelvin. What's the Kelvin?
So Kelvin barrels. So Kelvin is a Kelvin Cooperage is a company that makes barrels in Kentucky, and they're just experts at it, man. They make really great handmade barrels that really give that really, you know, and they really concentrate on the seasoning of the barrels, which is, you know, really letting them rest in kind of nature and getting like kind of letting that the wax kind of like dry on, like the homogenization of the wood inside of it, and that's going to be the barrel, like and overall like scientific characteristics of that barrel that makes, you know, bourbon sweet and very caramelly and tobacco in a sense. But they're just kind of an expert in it. They're a really big expert in the field in terms of cooperages. And a lot of times when people hear, like, if they have a bunch of the same liquid, and they'll be like, oh yeah, and this is a Kelvin barrel. It's actually happened at places like New Riff, which is pretty interesting. But people will be like, can we get the ones that are Kelvin barrels? Because most of the barrels, a lot of the larger produced barrels came from somewhere like ISC, Independent State Cooperage. But there's some Kelvins. There's another company called Canton. There's a lot of different more smaller independent cooperages that are out there, and Kelvin's just one of them. Right in the heart. They're in Louisville, Kentucky. You can visit them, and they just do really great work making great barrels. What's the chart? You said this is a chart barrel. Yeah. So I believe it's a char 3 Kelvin barrel.
I noticed as soon as I poured it that this is darker than the other bourbon.
Look at that color.
This
guys.
is so nice. Oh my god,
it's crazy.
That's sexy. Oh, hold on. What is going on here?
That's what made me make a face a second ago.
Oh man, that's my brother-in-law, man.
Oh, come on, man.
Boo that man. Can you put the booze on?
Yeah.
No. I just saw what that was said. I'm like, man.
Like,
wait, are the Heat in the
playoffs? Thank you.
Keep going. Here's one thing I'm gonna say to you. All right.
Talk about next year.
Next year.
We still in this year.
Let's talk about how Bam Adebayo's 83 was the most pathetic 83.
Don't get distracted.
Ever made. All right.
This is what they want you to talk about.
Here's the thing. I've only had like 1 ounce. I don't have enough time for Heat fans. All right. 1 ounce of whiskey does not prepare me for a Heat fan. All right. Anyway, so let's go straight into this one.
Yeah, man.
Insane.
Was there more you wanted to say about the bourbon before we drink it?
Well, to me, like I said, like when I can really visualize and characterize a barrel, that's when I'm like, oh, it's the one. And this one, I smelled it, and as soon as I smelled it and tasted it, I'm like, it literally tastes like breakfast for dinner. Like it tastes like maple syrup. It tastes like coffee. It tastes like, it tastes like just like a little bit of like butter on some like lathered, pancakes and waffles. You know what I mean? Like it gave me that breakfast for dinner vibe, because breakfast for breakfast is just breakfast, right? But breakfast for dinner, there's something you're looking for. You know what I mean? You're going a little bit extra to make sure that you have those flavor notes, and that's what I really get in these. So get the blueberry, got all that in there. So I really love this barrel series, and since it's so delicate and so complex, especially with the bitterness and the oak structure combined with kind of the sweetness and the fruitiness and the leather in it, that's why I decided to make it the Kuko, which is a spiritual fox that flies in the clouds.
Bro, this is so unique. Like I'm just gonna say this is different to me, because I get the breakfast notes that you're talking about. I get the maple, but I also get some citrus in there, which is something that I always love. Leather notes. You put leather notes in a whiskey, and you got me. Like it could, seriously, it could just taste like leather and orange, and you're good. But like
I love it.
Have the maple as well. But I also get like, it's weird. Like I'm not like a huge soda drinker because I don't drink carbonated drinks. But like I'll taste things so that I can like use them for like cocktails and flavors and stuff like that. This has this like Dr. Pepper-ish kind of like taste to it to me. Like, like it's like if I was sitting at IHOP with a pancake and some syrup, some honey. Hey, don't knock not IHOP, Waffle House. All right, let's go.
Okay. We're good now. We're good now.
So I'm at Waffle House. I'm having a pancake with some syrup, some honey, some orange, and drinking some Dr. Pepper. This is, and the thing is, you said breakfast for dinner. You never go to an IHOP at an actual respectable time. Like you
never.
Like no one goes to IHOP before 9 p.m. Unless they
100%.
So that is what I'm drinking right now. Is I would be at IHOP at 10:17 at night, and I am drinking Waffle House in a glass right now. This is crazy.
I love it. That's
and it smells like it smells like amazing.
Shout out to. Oh gosh, I just love this, man.
What are you thinking, Apollo?
I get that orange kind of taste that you had mentioned. It's kind of like I was gonna say like an orange peel, but I wouldn't say necessarily orange peel. I'm trying to taste the Dr. Pepper. I don't taste the Dr. Pepper, but I am kind of getting like a chocolatey kind of note to it in a way. So like a mix between like a citrus, orangey, and a chocolate, like a dark chocolate. I'm getting those kind of notes there.
All right,
I get a little. I get the citrus. I got the Dr. Pepper. Once you said it, it was hitting me. On my second sip, I kind of lost the Dr. Pepper. I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Definitely get the chocolate in there, the caramels. You could taste the char. But on the finish, I'm getting a weird like. It's like ginger, but very light. Very light. I could taste.
I think that ginger-like note to me is like a culmination of what the notes previously, that were mentioned, kind of like the root beer, Dr. Pepper type like licoricey flavor combined with like that dark fruit and medicinal type of thing with the leather. I think all that combined, it almost has that like, when like not even like raw ginger, but like when you're having like a ginger tea. And you get that like honey ginger note to it. I feel like that's that little bit of like earthy, but also kind of like a warm, spicy vibe to it. Like I understand what you mean. I taste that in there too.
I forgot to mention when I said the char, when I said char, I meant to say the leather, those leather notes. You get those leather notes, and that's actually one of Phil's like favorite notes. So I know he's loving this one. I had a question on this. Is this one any easier to get? Tell me this is easier to get than the other one, please.
No. Actually, New York is about to get. Actually, I shouldn't say New York because I gotta put respect on it. Shout out to Tony. Their group in Jersey did a pick of the series, one of the last picks that we did of the series. So shout out to them. They'll probably have their pick soon. But besides the pick, we're gonna release more on the website, but from our website as well. So sign up at mugenspirit.com and you'll get the emails. And y'all know if you're also anybody here signed up, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are. We don't really spam anybody. We tell only people important information like when the bottles come out and then when we got dope merch. That's about the only time we email anybody. But sign up and you'll get it. But I will say our first release that we did of this of this series, it sold out unfortunately about I think 12 to 13 seconds.
So I need to invest in a bot to get one of these.
I mean, you can try all you want, man, but it's funny because like you say that, but my girlfriend who doesn't even do bourbon like that wanted a bottle, so she got on and she kept on refreshing and she got one. So look, it's not impossible. You just gotta be on it.
Okay. You just gotta be Kojin's girlfriend to get it.
Look, I didn't give her any advice. We weren't even in the same area code when she did this, so no help. But honestly, and we try to be fair. We release at the same time online, at same day, same time usually, and we're gonna have a couple more. So don't worry. But don't worry about it. You'll be able to probably. I imagine you'll be able to grab it. And if at the end of the year you're like Kojin, you lied. I couldn't get any bottle. Then I'll personally get another sample that y'all can share with you and your friends, and I'll send it to you. Okay.
You, I will try.
Right. I will but only if you try. Phil, keep him honest. If he doesn't try, if he doesn't try and he comes asking for me.
Here's the thing about Al. Al will have something on the show, and he'll text me the next week, and he'll be like, "All right, bro. Out of the 2 that we tasted on the show, which one do you think I should buy?" He even texted me today with a brand that we had 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "Bro, should I get this one or this one?" So he will. He is that kind of guy.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right.
What store in Jersey is Tony doing the pick with?
So he's doing the pick through, and I don't want to speak too much into his business because I know he's got his own plan with a steady pour, but I believe he's doing it through Taste Select Repeat, in partnership with Taste Select Repeat. So it's gonna be through that group. I don't know which store they're gonna throw it to after that, or if it's just gonna be one of those things. But and you just gotta hit up. You gotta hit up the ASP people, man, and you gotta let them know they're the ones that control it from here. I got them the barrel picks. They're a fire. They picked. I did the huge event at Copper and Oak. Shout out to the guys over at Copper and Oak in Manhattan. Yeah. Tomo. Shout out to my homie Tomo-san. Shout out to my homie John Ober.
Shout out to Tomo.
Dude, Tomo's real, man. Tomo's the shit. He's another fellow Japanese whiskey lover like myself, and he runs that store. He runs that bar. So, and John Ober, who also speaks Japanese, has lived in Japan. Copper and Oak in Lower Manhattan.
Okay. Do they have TVs at that bar?
No, sadly, no.
Sadly, no. But there's more. I've seen multiple people with their phones watching TV while drinking whiskey.
Because if we make it to the finals, we want to do a Knicks Nightcap live night at a spot out there. And I was gonna say if they did, I just need a spot worth doing.
I got you.
Well, I was about to say Frank's the one that would know this.
Yeah, I got some great recommendations. We'll talk, Phil.
Okay, we'll talk after. All right, so all right, cool. So this pick is ridiculous. I just texted Tony and I said, "Don't you dare put that on without me knowing." Because I need that pick. Absolutely need that. That pour was seriously. That's everything that I fangirl about whiskey. Straight up. These guys know. The leather, the orange, all that, the maple. That's my jam. And I don't know how you don't get the Dr. Pepper, because I get that every time right at the finish. I'm
I get it too. I get that Dr. Pepper almost root beer like finish. I get it too as well.
Yeah, I get
But
that at the end. And I'm like, dang, that's delicious.
And also, not to be a shameless plug, but you know, a lot of people have been expressing like how you get like your stuff runs out so quick, or you know, it goes here, it goes that, because we don't produce a lot yet. You know, we really handpick our stuff that we release, but we got our first small batch. I think this is the first podcast or kind of media outlet that we talk about it. I actually talk about it. I debuted in Japan for the first time, but we have an Oni, Yokai Oni, which is like a demon. Crawling demon that groups around. Our first Oni small batch. It's a fantastic small batch. Our first blend that my personal blend, first blend that I put out, and it's coming out soon. And there will be a lot more bottles of that since it's a small batch. Still not the craziest batch, but it's going to be a larger batch. So look out for that, and hopefully that will be on retail shelves within the year. So as well, I don't know how many, because it's kind of be a collaboration between retail and then our website as well. And a lot of it's actually it's our first bottle going to Japan for retail as well.
Wow.
I love that.
And our brand is on the back of every bottle, like Frank mentioned. It says "A Love Letter from Kentucky to Japan" by Mugen Spirit. So that's what this brand is. It's us from Kentucky, a guy in Kentucky, an American guy in Kentucky, a Japanese guy grew up American Kentucky, looking and writing a love letter with bourbon, including the history with the 80s and the bourbon glut and how Japan kind of saved bourbon. All that included, it's us writing a love letter from Kentucky to Japan. So it can't be a love letter if we don't send him anything. So it's gonna be a great time.
I love that, man. Yeah. So one thing that we've talked about is like, not this season because we're still trying to get our, like money up, but eventually we want to pick barrels, from the Knicks Nightcap. So to me, I'm saying this right here. The first barrel that we want to pick from Knicks Nightcap is going to be with you, like Kojin. Like I've connected with not just your story, like your whiskey, but like you as a person. Like there's sometimes where I can connect with people, based off of their whiskey or their sports analytics or whatever. But like when Frank was like, yeah, he's your kind of people. Like Frank knows me, Frank knows, Frank knows the people that like I'll hang out with if we're at a, type of event, but he knows the kind of people that like I would go to bat for, and vice versa. And when he was like, yeah, Kojin's definitely your kind of people, connect with him. I took that very, very highly. So, and he was
appreciate that.
Dang right. So I'm excited for that. But let's talk a little more. Sadly, we don't have more pours, but we got more of those pours, so we can enjoy those. But let's talk about this topic right here. Okay. So there's the possibility that Anunoby is injured, at least for the next game. Luckily, Ian Begley came out with a video saying that it looks like he might be available for game 3 or game 4. However, we were having the conversation in our group chat. Do we rush him back? Like, is it worth rushing him back? And Frank, you have my sentiments exactly. Like, we're up 2-0. If there's the possibility of causing more of an issue, why bring him back? And so if there's anybody here that would, forego that and be like, yes, bring him back, you can raise your hand and I'll share, let you share your thoughts on why you would bring him back. But if we're all on the same page of if he's not 100%, don't bring him back, then we'll go to the next question. So anybody like, no, OG needs to play game 3.
I think he can play because we have the ultimate healer on the team. You don't know that? Dude, yeah, you play this for me, man. Put this up on the screen.
Hold up. Real quick. My guy Apollo's got to go. He's got an early morning. So Apollo, let everybody know where they can support you and rock with you.
Guard Up Knicks everywhere, man. This just pretty much on all platforms. It's just pretty much what I go by. Man, that's pretty much it, man. And you can find me here. Shout out to the KOT family, of course, man.
You know,
and make sure you listen to Apollo's music. And if you see him in the summertime, he's running fives. So ball up top. Make sure you guard him closely.
Yeah,
I need like another month after the Achilles tear.
Oh yeah. He's still recovering from the Achilles.
So I'm gonna put him on blast real quick because I'm starting to see something. All right, I'm starting to see something about Apollo. All right, so I get a text message now on most days. Hey, running late. I'll be there. You know, a little bit late. He gets on right before the whiskey pours. He drinks the whiskey and then drops.
And then he dips.
Hey, listen. No. Listen. All right. Listen. You want to throw a rock? I've been sitting here since 9:45. I had notes on Macau, Cat, and I didn't get a dime of minute to say anything. And I sat here patiently and I waited. And you gave me my chance during the whiskey pour. During the whiskey pour, I had my chance. So shout out to you for giving me that opportunity, my guy.
I'll just play with you. You know I love you, bro. You want to share some of your notes real quick before you go?
No. It's old news now. It's good. It's gone.
Basically, he's saying you're being more Mike Brown and not Tibbs. He needs more minutes, is what he's saying.
I love you, bro. I'll just play with
love,
you.
Bro.
Have a good day tomorrow. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Holla, fellas, man. Thanks, man.
Peace, bro. Yo, so there's nothing to worry about with OG Anunoby. There's nothing to worry about. We have the man. Put this video up for me, please. Jordan Clarkson, the Mad Healer.
Where's the video?
It's right there. I got it. I'm sharing.
No, it's not showing nothing. Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah. There you
go. Unseen on earth, seeking to find life. They'll not find because it's too late.
Oh my God.
Too late, yeah. Too late for them to ever see again the life they once chose not to follow. All right. Don't be lost when the time comes. While the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night.
I am dead.
So I feel like that is blasphemous on all categories possible.
Yeah, on every level.
Wait, that really happened.
I know it did.
He did that, and
look at OG.
He his wrist.
Oh my God.
OG looks like he is about to like erupt. Like OG's face in that whole thing was absolutely crazy. I don't know what. Like OG was like, "What is happening, and why is this happening?" OG felt something there. He was worried. He was worried about what was going on. All right, but share your thoughts. Besides your
I'm just joking. I wouldn't play him. I think we have a good chance of winning.
Frank raised his hand, so let's hear Frank.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Frank.
Well, I raised my hand to say, am I ambitious? Yes. But I'm thinking about who's going to make it out of the West, and I'm thinking about what happened in the NBA Cup, and I'm thinking about the Spurs. I'm thinking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm thinking about everybody, and respectfully, I think that OG needs to be healthy in order for us to beat the field. You know, like in order for us to beat the Sixers, again, I'm ambitious. I think that we can get past the Sixers without OG. I think we have a good chance to do so. We're up 2-0. But looking forward and looking at the Pistons, you know, looking at the prospective favorites out of the West, I think we need OG to be healthy. So I wouldn't rush him back, which is why I raised my hand. I just wanted to say I don't think we should rush him back because I'm looking at the field and not the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah. And so for me, OG has been our all-star. Like him and Kat have been our number one and number two. As much as I love Brunson, and he was the reason we won this last game because of his, fourth quarter performance. But overall, for the whole playoff so far, it's been Kat and OG. And so I agree with you that yes, the idea of putting our, knee on their neck, in game 3 and stealing their soul, in their first game at Philadelphia. Yes, that benefits us. But is it worth the risk of him not being available when we need him most? You know,
No.
if they're saying that he could come back game 3 or 4, why not just wait to game 4 no matter what? You know,
Yeah.
like give him that extra rest that he needs, because we do have players. We have a way deeper bench than the 76ers do. And so that gives us the opportunity to not have to force it. And so for me, I wouldn't force it at all. Like my girl Nixonish said, like next man up, like bring your next man up. And so for me, I want to talk about the next man up. Like, who is that guy if OG can't come? And so for me, if OG doesn't play and we go with, you know, something like the, you know, double bigs for the lineup or whatever, or the other option that I think we need to do, what do we need? We need someone more so defensively than offensively to fill that role. Because Mikhail is at least contributing offensively, but we want to make sure that we don't allow Paul George, VJ Edgecombe to go off. And so for me, the guy you bring in to that position when OG is out, and he can even play minutes against Joel Embiid if Joel Embiid is back and frustrate the living daylights out of him, is Jeremy Sohan. And the reason you bring in Jeremy Sohan is because his defense is insane. And my guy Joe knows exactly what I'm talking about. His defense is insane, but he also frustrates the living daylights out of you. Like, you see how Maxey and Edgecombe especially reacted to Sohan's comments about them not getting blown out. He gets under people's skin. And with someone like Sohan, you can allow him to play hard defense that frustrates a player, and you don't care if he gets fouled out. Like, you really don't. Like, with Mitch coming back and Cat being healthy, now you play Sohan minutes on Embiid that frustrate Embiid, allow him to foul Embiid if he needs to, but that allows Cat to not get into foul trouble. Sohan opens up a lot of opportunities for our other two bigs to stay on the court a lot longer. And in the open court, which we've been doing great with our rebounds, he can score in an open court. Like, he's not going to create for himself, but in an open transition, he can get the bucket. So for me, Jeremy Sohan is a perfect plug-and-play player in this situation with OG gone. What are your thoughts, Al, on how we adjust with this roster?
I wouldn't do that. What I was going to say before that, though, is I went a step further and I said, sit OG game 3. If we win game 3, sit him game 4. That's how I would take it. You know what I mean? Like, if we look 3-0, we don't need to play him in game 4. So that's how that situation. Sohan, I love him, but I can't pair him with Josh Hart on the floor at the same time. You got two guys that can't shoot the ball a lick. It's going to shrink the floor for Brunson, and that worries me. I'd rather have, if you're going to put another non-shooter in, then I'd rather have Mitchell Robinson, because at least he can roll in the dunker spot, and he actually has some gravity that'll pull people in because of his offensive rebounding and suck people in from the corners to kind of stop him, which actually opens up the three-point corner shots. So if you're going to go non-shooter to bother Embiid, I think Mitchell Robinson is your guy. Like, and he has a bone to pick with Embiid anyway. So I would go that way, and that's if Embiid is playing. If Embiid is not playing, I would probably go with Shaman, but I got a feeling that Mike Brown will go with Deuce because they're going to be pretty small.
He's been loving Deuce.
They're going to be pretty small, and they were trying to play fast. So I could see he was playing Deuce a lot. I hated Deuce's minutes last night. By the way, I didn't think he played well at all. But he seems to be forcing that hand, and I guess he's trying to get him going, and he thinks that he's going to be important down the stretch of his run. So, yeah.
I'm a favorite. You're my guy, but right now, I feel like I should bring your sister up because I feel like she's dropping knowledge. Right? But I agree with Sohan, next man up. It's hot, girl. But with the way Mike Brown has been moving, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts Clarkson in instead. And so here's the thing. Sohan, right now, with what we have going on, if Sohan is the one that's controlling Embiid, then you have more Cat minutes, okay? You have less liability of them going to a Hack-a-Mitch kind of situation. as well. With Sohan's not trying to score, but he's allowing Cat not to get in foul trouble so that Cat can score, so that Cat can be that guy that we need. Sohan allows those minutes to continue. With Mitchell Robinson is still an offensive liability. Like he is, and he is great on a defensive end against when you have bigger guys. But the guys that we're trying to now lock down are Embiid and a bunch of guys that are movers. You got VJ Edgecombe that is moving nonstop. You got Maxey that's moving nonstop. You got the Quentin Grimes minutes that are moving nonstop. That's not Mitchell Robinson's like top priority. That's not what he excels at. Sohan does. Sohan can be on you like the white on rice. He is like a tall version of Alvarado. He is frustrating, but he at least has the length to be able to deal with multiple guys. You want someone that can play like Miss Nixon has shed, the 1 to 5, so that if he has to stop Paul George on a transition, you can do it. Miles McBride can't do that. If they set a pick and roll and Paul George has the ball, that's an easy over McBride. Landry Shamet, as much as I loved him in the season, he's been like barbecue chicken all playoffs. So Sohan can get that length. Sohan can put the frustration on a VJ Edgecombe, a Joel Embiid, and a Paul George. And that's what we need. We want someone that if, Jalen Brunson gets put in a, pick and roll situation, Sohan is that guy that can stop Maxey. He's the only one that can guard the 1 through 5 that's currently on the bench. And so that's why I would go with him, because right now we don't need the scoring, because as long as Cat's on the floor, we have guys that can score. Like we have guys that can make it easy to score. So that's why I would personally go with Sohan. Frank, what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts are funny to take it way, way back, but I'm thinking about Brad Stevens winning Executive of the Year, and I'm thinking about what the Knicks have on their roster. I'm curious at how the hell that happened, because we got Sohan. We got a deep bench that I feel like we have so many guys that we can plug and play. Jordan Clarkson, honestly, I would hesitate to put him in the game. Sohan, he obviously doesn't have the offense that Jordan Clarkson has, but I think you're right, Phil. We need the defense. And so having a guy like Sohan to be able to plug and play, put him in there, have him as kind of an alternative to that double big, and be able to kind of manipulate the game on the defensive end and really come through for us. I'm excited to see that. But my mind is just stuck on Brad Stevens winning Executive of the Year. I'm sorry for that, because I'm like, how the hell did that even happen? The Knicks have the better roster than the Celtics, and the Celtics aren't in the playoffs anymore. So I'm hung up on something that isn't your point, but I apologize for that.
No, it's a great point, because I feel like the front office was able to, even after getting a head coach so late in the game, still able to make enough transitions to get us a bench that was solid. We went from, having Yabusele, who, was a complete dumpster fire for us.
Player at some point.
Horrible for us. We found a way to transition that into Sohan and Alvarado, and so for me, Clarkson's one of my favorite players, like offensively. But he's not a plug and play for the starting lineup. That puts us at a huge defensive liability. If you look right now, we don't need necessarily more offense. OG is a delight because he brings that. But at the end of the day, what we need to do is stop them, because they are not a defensive-minded team. They're not. So even a guy like Sohan, who's got a limited offensive bag, it's still a bag against a team that is not defensively minded. Like none of their guys are elite defenders. None of them, and so at the end of the day, they are elite scorers. And that's what we need to stop. Like they can't beat us when it comes to their defense. But offensively, if it's going bucket for bucket, they have enough bucket getters. So our thing with OG being gone is, how do we stop their bucket getters? By putting more defense out on the court. And so for me, how do you fix the OG Anunoby thing? Someone like Sohan in the starting lineup, and give Diawara some bench minutes. Like Diawara should be cooking a little bit off the bench. Even 8 to 10 minutes a game, Diawara can bring that height offensively and defensively that we need, so that we don't have to worry so much about Cat or Mitch getting in foul trouble because we have height. That's the one thing that I would say Mike Brown missed, in these last 2 games, was you bring in Landry Shamet in multiple minutes where he's not really contributing anything. Same with Deuce McBride. Yes, he's he's a really good defender on his kind of guy, but this team knows how to do the pick and pop. That's what they do, so they're constantly setting screens so that there's a mismatch. Miles McBride is always going to be a mismatch on everybody. Everybody from PJ to Maxey to Paul George, they are all taller than McBride. That's a defensive liability. None of them have that edge against Diawara. So for me, you bring Diawara in off the bench instead of Miles McBride and instead of, Landry Shamet. Keep the Alvarado minutes because Alvarado has been feasting and putting in that grind. But the other two, I think you got to put Diawara minutes before those. So what are your thoughts on that real quick, Al?
I agree with that. I did have a random stat for you. Clarkson, ever since he healed OG Anunoby's wrist, he has not hit a 3 since March. He has not hit a 3 since March.
Well, there's consequences. There's consequences with voodoo, bro.
So that's my only qualm with him. Other than that, he's been playing great ball. So I can see him going in the starting lineup, but I do need him to stretch the floor a little bit. I'm not opposed to Clarkson getting the nod. I do want to see Diawara minutes. But look, the Knicks are versatile, so we can go in a number of different ways. And my thing is, like, if we do go one way and it's not working, I want to see us quickly pivot away from it. So that's my only thing. So and I think Mike Brown has been doing that. So I'm looking forward to see, like, what game 3 presents and how we adjust and how we win that game.
All right. So before we give our final thoughts and transitions, my guy Kojin has to get going. Kojin, let everyone know how they can follow you, support you, and everything that you're doing.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on the show. This is a lot more fun, and I don't really talk about NBA that much. So this is this is like a fun time. It kind of gave me back into when I was a kid, talking more about basketball. But I mean, I'm always on Instagram at Kojin Tashiro, my full name. I try to keep it not confusing. In terms of Mugen, it's the easiest way to get a hold of bottles or kind of keep up with what's coming on. We just released a brand new website. It's kind of has its kinks and stuff, but I love it. It's beautiful. Mugen Spirit, MUGEN Spirit.com is how you get there, and you just sign up and you'll be on the list. We also have a Discord for Mugen Spirit, so you can get on there, and we also have a lot of conversations on there as well. Also, to say one thing before I get off, I didn't think that the whole comment about Mitchell Robinson was that bad of a comment. I know I get what you mean, but like at the same time, I mean, like if you're talking about points, nobody's putting that much points on the bench right now. You know what I mean? But I do like the fact that Mitchell Robinson's 7 foot. I mean, he's big and he does get rebounds. Yeah. So that I didn't think that was the worst idea, but I get what you mean. I get what you mean, Phil, in the sense that he's not a switch. He's not really a switch. He's just posted, you know what I mean? And if you had someone big and tall, to kind of like, repost up for, I get it. But I just wanted to say it wasn't the worst idea. I didn't think it was the worst idea. I didn't think it was the worst idea.
Here's why it's a bad idea. All right. And then I'll let you know. Here's why it's a bad idea. Because so sometimes you don't get the notes that that are there. The same thing here with basketball.
The apples, the cherries.
Yeah,
educate me.
Here's the Dr. Pepper for you. All right. So the reason you don't do that is because one thing that they actually do have is backups when it comes to their bigs. Okay. So you put too much minutes on Mitch in the starting lineup. Now you're resulting to Hukporty minutes off the bench. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now you have guys like Bona and guys like Drummond who are going to eat. They are going to steal Huck Porty's lunch money. Like they are
Yeah.
going to make a fool of Huck Porty, because Huck Porty is good when you need him in certain scenarios, but to rely on him to run your bench when your bench is already struggling is not going to work. So Mitchell Robinson, as great of a presence as he is, we need him off the bench, because if Embiid does play, Andre Drummond is not a bum. Andre Drummond could start at other teams. Like even in his old age, he could still be a starter at 60% of teams in the NBA. So that's why you don't put both of your bigs in the starting lineup.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Struggled with foul trouble in this series. So what do? You
Mhm.
put them both in the starting lineup, and all of a sudden they both have 3 fouls, with less than, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, and now you're screwed for the whole rest of the game. So
if
that's
Sohan
why
starts, I will give you your props on Twitter. I will
No,
tag
I'll give you that. That is a very
Phil's
good,
idea.
clean, understandable explanation of why that's a bad idea.
Well,
If
I
only we
appreciate
still
you,
had
Coach.
Isaiah Hartenstein. That
Appreciate
would
it.
be nice.
I will reach out to you. We'll continue to connect, but thank you, bro. Seriously, this
Coach,
is
For sure.
very
Appreciate
nice
you for having
meeting
us
you.
on.
Love everything
Hey,
you're doing, man.
good night, guys.
later, bro.
Good night.
Peace,
All right,
brothers.
guys. So we're gonna end with our thoughts on this game coming up. OG or not, how do you think that we fare in this next game? I'll go with you first, Al, because looks like Frank. All right, so I'll go with you first, Al. How do you think we fare in this next game? Do you think we go up 3-0, or do you think that this might be, one of those games where they're really trying to, prove that they still belong here?
I think we go up 3-0. By the way, they did Philly did all of that, like trying not to let New York zip codes purchase tickets. And I think we still have the overwhelming majority of tickets are from New York zip codes somehow. I have no idea how we did it. Maybe they use a VPN. I don't know. But we are going to be in the building. That is going to sound like MSG in there. There's going to be a large contingent of us. And listen, this is where the Villanova Knicks got to shine. Like they're used to playing here, right? So they're also going to have a bunch of fans there too. So I think all of those things combined give us a really good shot. And I think the guys, they know what's at stake. And I think they got a taste of like what it's like to like wrap up your series early when it came to the Hawks in this series, and seeing like what a difference it makes to be the more rested team. And they want to do that now for the next series, right? So I think they're going to go in hungry and try to steal game 3. That's my opinion. I think they'll have a good shot. I think it'll be a close game. The spread is only 1.5. So I think Vegas thinks it's a close game too. So it'll be a close game down the stretch, and it's a matter of, that's it. Who has the better closer? And we have one of the best closers in the building. So I like my chances.
All right. Frank, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think we go into Philly and take that game 1. I think the Knicks are ready to put not just belt to ass, but knee to neck. You know what I'm saying? Like fist to jaw, the whole 9. Personally, I would love to see us take that game, but I think that the momentum that we have after the first 2 games, especially winning a close one in game 2, I think that bodes well for what we're going to do in game 3. So I would like to see us get game 3 and then close out the series really in 4 or 5. Yeah. And to Al's point, like I think that if we can wrap this up quickly and get some rest going into the conference finals, that would be ideal. If we face off against the Pistons again, which again, I'm optimistic, I'm looking ahead, but if we face off against the Pistons again, I like our odds, especially with OG coming back, having a couple games to kind of like recover and recuperate, and then go into Detroit potentially, and then put belt to ass over there with Cade and them.
We owe them. We owe them.
Yeah, I think we're good if Detroit ends up squeaking by in the Cleveland series. So I think we get game 3. The momentum is on our side. We're looking good.
Yeah.
If we can close it out in 4, that would be great. If we close it out in 5, I'm still good. I'm happy with the way we look right now, and I think that game 3 is ours for the taking.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about the Pistons coming into the next series is
potentially
Potentially. I think they will. I think they, I as much as I love Donovan
Harden looks so
Mitchell,
bad.
yeah, as much as I love Donovan Mitchell as a player, I think
And as a Mets fan,
yeah, which that's his only flaw because I'm a Yankee fan. But anyway, but but the only thing I'll say is James Harden is washed. Like he is not like
So
he's had some good
So
games
washed.
throughout the season, but he has shown that he is not the player to buy into. So I said Knicks in 5 from the get-go, and that's what I'm going to go with. Either this game because OJ's sitting and it might, not be us at their best, or we win this one and they, do everything that they can for one game at least, before they leave Philly. But what I think I'm excited about against the Pistons is that the way that we've played in the playoffs since the half of the Hawks series is that this is a brand of basketball that they have not seen us play. So the Pistons have no actual tape on how they've played against us because we played selfish ISO basketball against them. It was pretty much a Jalen Brunson, trying to be a superhero kind of basketball. We didn't go through that. We didn't do any of that. And as much as like Jalen Duren is going to be, a player that is going to continue to evolve and be a problem, his lack of experience against Cat running the offense is going to cause an issue. And so I think that we keep on the trajectory that we're at. So before we close, I'm going to bring up my guy Joe and my girl Nixonish so that they could give their takes on this next game, and then we'll close out. What up, Joe? What up,
Yo, what's going on,
what up,
guys?
y'all?
Yo, thanks for having me on the panel, Phil.
Of course,
Yo,
bro.
Miss Nixon-ish, I'm looking you say some stuff in the chat about Sohan. I'm really interested to see what you have to say. I'm going to let you go first, if that's all right.
Yeah, so talk on what you think Sohan would be a good fit, and then also what you think the outcome of this game will be, our next one.
Gotcha. So I think he's a great fit for next man up. I think, like I said to Al, I said, go watch him play the Spurs. I mean, I'm in Texas, right? I've seen plenty of games in person where he put belt to ass on the Knicks by himself.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't look for his shot, but he can score.
Yep.
He can give us what Mitch does, plus shoot free throws, plus play well in transition. Like I said, he plays 1 through 5. He can guard 1 through 5. So if they choose to set picks and we have to switch, we're comfortable where we are and not have to, again, try and help defensively because he can hold his own. I think, he got them riled up last game, and I love it. I love it because, people look at him like he's soft, and he's really not. He's with this. He'll fight. And I love that because to me, that's Knicks basketball, right? We from the 90s, watching the 90s ball. And
Oakley, Mason, they didn't back down from
exactly.
nobody.
So I think, him being the next man up makes a whole lot of sense. And for game 3, I think the Knicks need to come out with the same mentality. Like I said, Cat needs to be smart with it because he's very important to how our offense is flowing. Whether Embiid is playing or not, we need Cat on the floor because with Embiid playing, he runs by him. Embiid can't guard him. It's clear as day. Embiid has no movement on his legs.
Yeah.
And with Embiid not playing, he's important because because to me, my opinion, Philly plays better without him. But we need the defense to not fully focus on JB. And the only way for that not to happen is having Cat on the court. So Cat has to find a way to play more discipline, to remain on the court as much as possible. And we need him to give us those minutes with the bench guys. I feel like the lineup of Cat, Jordan Clarkson, Alvarado, Mitch, with that second unit, it gives us great minutes. It gives us great tempo. And we kind of don't lose our step from that first unit. So to me, that's important. I think the Knicks come out on top in game 3 and game 4. Philly could keep their bags at home, just like I said against Atlanta.
I love it. I love the confidence that you speak with. And I love the Al. What you talking about? Let me break it down for you. Kind of
She knows ball. She knows
I love
ball.
it. I love it. So I love it. I agree with you completely. I'm gonna throw it to my guy Joe. Joe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, I want to touch on the Huck Porty thing because I feel like those refs in the last game really threw us off. Like they were calling every single ticky-tack foul.
They were.
And that was really throwing Huck Porty off of his game. And I know Huck Porty could bring it. Just you got to give me some better refs, man. That last game was ridiculous. Phil, I know you don't like talking about this. I know you don't like hearing about the refs all the time, but last game was kind of nuts.
It was.
It seemed like they were calling everything, man. Like 30. It was like they had 30 plus free throws or something like that. I'm like, yo. And the fact that Cat was taken out of the game completely because we couldn't play him because we didn't want him to get any fouls. Yo, Mike Brown, just put him in the second quarter. Don't play him at all in the first quarter if that's how we got to do it. Because I want to see him at the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter. I can't have a whole half of basketball without my best facilitator on the floor. The game is going to be 100 to 100 if that's the case,
Yeah.
And like I did not like what I saw with the last game. I felt like the refs were like we had to beat them and we had to beat the refs in the last game.
But if you thought the refs were bad last game, wait till tomorrow.
Yeah,
they're gonna be bad tomorrow.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely I see that, man, and it's crazy. I don't know how they're getting away with this because like some of these fouls that I'm seeing, they want to challenge and they're not giving them enough time to even challenge. They're going right on to the next play and carrying on. It's like, yo, like we were going to challenge that. What are we doing? I don't know, man.
I think the upside to that, Joe, is that as bad as people want to say we played all season, we didn't live up to expectations of being the first seed this season. It kind of taught us a lesson, right? Like, I feel like during the season, when the refs got under our skin, we folded. And we didn't fold last game, which was a good sign. Calls are not always, think about it. We make it to the finals, we're going to be playing the team of floppers in OKC. You think Philly flops bad? OKC is the worst of the worst flopping. And so they're going to get the whistle every time. So we need to be prepared for that. And I think this is a good way. This is a good way to prepare for it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really even just like the flopping that I was upset about. It was just like the little tiniest things that were happening on the floor and the refs were calling it right away. And then on our side, when Josh Hart was doing a couple things, he wasn't getting a single call at all. So I'm like, yo, Josh, I feel you, bro. You should be fired up. You should be yelling at these guys because Josh got a technical foul. And I was like, yo, why are we compounding the issue? But at the same time, I never like to side with the players. Oh, stop yelling at the refs. I'm always that type of guy that's saying that. But this game that we just saw, it was to a whole nother level. And it kind of got me thinking like, I'm looking at the spread and then I'm looking at the refs and I'm going, okay.
Here's the thing, though. I think the Knicks as a team and the Knicks as a fan base need to stop acting like this is something new.
Definitely not. No.
Right, Bill. As long as I've been a Knicks fan, the whistle has gone against the Knicks. That's always been how it's been.
Always.
I started watching the Knicks when I was 7 years old. I'm now 41, turning 42 in 3 weeks. And like that's a lot of basketball where the Knicks always have the refs in the opposite pocket. That's always been the way that it's been. So to act like it's something new is like.
And I'm so glad you said that, Phil.
Is this your first game? Like, is this your first time watching the Knicks? Why are you so upset? Like, for me, I've gotten used to it. It's
I know. I hear you. But it's like, yo.
It's still frustrating.
It is
exactly. Like I'm used to it. It just makes the game super boring to me. Like you sit there and you're like, you want your team to go on a run, and then they kill the momentum, and it's just like, bruh.
Like there's things that could definitely let them play through that they're calling, and it's pulling some of our players out of the game, like Cat, Huck Porty, all of our centers. We didn't get to use Mitchell Robinson. I was so upset. What was that all about? Random illness, not playing in the game. I'm like, that's sus. That's suspect. Like, come on, man. Like I know
he wasn't needed. He wasn't needed.
Yeah, in hindsight, I'd rather he get the rest because his ankle has been looking a little shaky lately. He's like, I think 2 games in a row, I've seen him limping on the floor.
Yep.
So I'm okay with him getting the extra day. I wonder if he's gonna play, tomorrow. But his health is also super important for us to get over the hump, whether we see the Spurs or we see OKC in the finals and we're getting ahead of ourselves. But
I mean, I've seen
whatever,
OG
we're
tweak his
there.
hamstring multiple times, and see him play through it. I don't think he's that hurt. I think he'll be able to come back in Game 3 and play.
I think he could, but I don't think we need to. Like, here's the thing.
We just don't
the
need to
same
risk
thing with
that.
Mitch. Like, people are like, oh, why is Mitch not playing? Like, at the end of the day, the reason we wanted a roster that had an actual bench is for moments like this. Like, how many times have we had no bench and an injury would happen and it would cost us the series? Right now, we have the luxury of saying next man up. There's seasons where we could not say next man up. So for me, if Mitch needs to sit, let him sit. Like, at the end of the day, I would rather have Mitch in the Eastern Conference Finals to get us to the finals, which is something we have not done in years, since I was a kid. I would rather have OG Anunoby for the games that solidify the series than Game 3 that might be a game, no matter what, that they come in not wanting to lose because they've already lost 2 and they don't want to embarrass themselves at home. So for me, I think that it's wise. And I think that so many times in the Tibbs era, we would get frustrated and be like, why was he even on the court? Like, he's not 100%. Why are you putting him out there? And now we have a coaching staff and a health staff that are saying, nope, let's rest them today. And fans are like, why are they not playing? And I'm like, you're the same ones that were pissed that he was playing when he was injured last year.
Well,
so,
Phil, I don't want why is Sohan coming in the game for 1 minute? Like, we got to talk about that. Like, if you're going to put these guys in the game and make them play 60 seconds, it's like, dude.
I know.
That's crazy, man.
I think it was just to a point where it was like, if we need him, let's bring him out. And then realizing we don't really need to waste that time. Like, let's bring out the bench. Let's bring
I kind of have a theory about this, though.
Like, what's your theory on this?
To me, man, Sohan just seems like a casualty of the NBA world. Like, we don't want this kid to kill us on another team, so let's just let him collect spider webs on our bench so he can't go off on another team and beat us in the playoffs. That's exactly what I'm seeing. It's like, we don't want to play this kid at all, and he's got all this promise.
I hope he starts.
I mean, I think the thing is, it's tough because we as fans want to see, who we want to see. But reality is our team is so talented, right? And so everyone can't possibly
get all these people that want to get paid.
But everyone can't possibly get minutes, right? Because if you give Sohan minutes on a regular, on a healthy team, then who loses minutes, right? Does OG lose minutes? Does Mikal? Like, whose minutes is he taking? It's kind of the same thing with Jose, right? Like, Jose is really good. He's talented. I feel like he has a good grasp on the offense and the flow of the offense. But is he taking JB's minutes? No, it's not going to happen, right? So that's just I don't want to say problem, but problem of having a really talented team.
Yeah, those are good problems. Those are good problems.
A great problem to have.
Jason,
all right, guys.
20 minutes. He had like 10.
I got to wrap it up. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think? With or without OG, do you think we get the W? Or do you think that this might be the 1L of the series? I only think we're going to lose one. I said Knicks in 5, and I'm going to stick to that. What's your thoughts? I'll go with you first, Miss Nixon-ish.
I think with or without OG, we get the dub. Iman said it best on whatever show he was on today. The Knicks fans are panicking, but we've won games without OG. Yep. We've won games without Mitch. So to be in such panic mode as if we cannot win without him is absurd. So we're going to win. I thought it was going to be Knicks in 5 or 6, but the way we've been seeing the Knicks playing, I think it's a sweep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted Knicks in 4 before the season started, or the series started. But I agree with you. Without OG and Mitch, we can still win, but I just think Mike Brown needs to, I want to see Kolek. I want to see Sohan. These dudes aren't getting any minutes. It's like,
Joe, do you have a Sohan jersey?
I mean, no.
You need to get one, my brother. I think to play OG in Game 3 would be criminal. It'd be a big. it'd be weird for a staff that dedicated the whole season to taking care of Mitchell Robinson and making sure that he's healthy, for that same staff to turn around and play OG Anunoby in game 3, understanding the risks that come with it and how valuable he is to our championship run that is right in front of us, would be criminal. So I hope they don't do it.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't make any sense because they haven't operated that way the whole year based on how they've managed Mitch. So I will hope that they manage OG in the same way.
Yeah.
So I don't expect him to play, and I expect us to still win. I think the game that we do lose would be game 4 because they will be playing with their hair on fire, and then we wrap it up when we come back home to MSG.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yo, Al, let me ask you this real quick, just before we go. You remember in the NBA Cup, we had Tyler Kolek coming off in the second string, and we had Jordan Clarkson playing together. When is the last time we saw Jordan Clarkson Tyler Kolek connection? Because I feel like that's such an underrated
before
duo.
the Jose trade.
Yeah,
before
I
the
just feel like
Jose
it's such an underrated duo that we're not utilizing, that we should use now that we don't have OG. We're not going to have Mitch. Like, these two guys in the lineup together, when they're playing together, they have really good chemistry. I see it in the Cup.
I think putting Tyler in takes Jose's minutes, and they're not going to do that.
I think the only way he's going to see the floor is if injury.
Yeah. Listen, I'm full on Tyler, like Kolek. I've always been Kolek. But even though he got better defensively, when you look at the comparison of him and Alvarado, the defense is leaps and bounds better by Alvarado. Like, even better than Brunson, even better than Clarkson, sometimes better than Shamet. You know, like,
We're just running too many guards, though, man. It's like Deuce and Alvarado on the
best
floor.
defenders. And when you look at the offensive, yes, Kolek is a great facilitator, but he's not as confident as a scorer except from the three-point line. Jose Alvarado is confident to drive it, can shoot the three-point, but is also a good facilitator. So they have to look at, like, you know, which
can turn the ball over.
And he's a pest.
And so I'm going to close with this real quick. This is my run that back. All right. I'm going to share this real quick. All right. Let's find where you at. Twitter. Where you at, Twitter?
I'm
honestly,
I'm worried.
Long story short, I just think we have weapons and tools that need to be utilized that'll really help us. That's all.
We're in a good position because I wouldn't have any concerns about giving Kolek minutes if someone went down and he needed to get minutes.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be concerned about playing him at all, and that's a really good place to be in. Go ahead.
Here we go. Ready? This was my run that back. Breaking news. The Philadelphia 76ers have reportedly signed 49-year-old veteran.
I didn't see that today.
To help erase their 0-2 deficit.
I did not see that. That's hilarious.
Cracked me up.
And the Knicks are signing J.R. Smith.
I personally think we still get this W. Like Al, I think we lose one game, and I think it'll be game 4 back up against the wall. Don't want to get swept. That's the one that I think that we lose. But for me, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, because tomorrow, if OG doesn't play, which I hope he doesn't, this is one of those, all right, Mike Brown, show us what you're made of. Like, where do you make that change? You know, where do you adjust? And so I'm hoping to see good minutes. What?
Does Embiid play though, Phil?
He's questionable.
That's what we're waiting to hear. You know, that makes a big difference. To me, I would play Sohan to match OG's size to cover George and help rebounding. The others can take OG's 14 shots between them. Facts, Nick Yak. That is exactly what I've been preaching, and I appreciate you. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Find Way Dre, Knicks in 5. That's wisdom from a Heat fan. You know, your team sucks, but I'm glad I'm glad you're wise when it comes to the Knicks. Hopefully you wake up and you come to the smart side, not the dark side, the smart side. Shout out to Diana. She had nothing but baller takes. We need to have
Deanna. That's what I'm saying. Deanna knows.
She knows. On an episode sometime. Is this your brother? You said your brother-in-law?
Yeah, that's my brother-in-law.
So are they married?
Yeah.
And she's a Knicks fan and he's a Heat fan?
Yep.
That's tough.
Diana, come on. You know better than that. You make that boy convert first, all right? My uncle to marry my aunt, he had to convert to Greek Orthodox. Like same thing when it comes to the Knicks. You make that fool convert before you put the ring on it. All right. So anyway, but I did say that we would make sure. She said house divided. There's wisdom in every house and foolishness in every house. It happens. But he did say that he wants to get together and have some pours and watch a game with us. So I'll try to convert him.
That's my guy.
But I
appreciate the Heat. Ever since they beat us in the playoffs that one year, I can't.
Me too. I feel the same way.
Since the
90s, right?
Yeah, since the 90s.
Alonzo and PJ got into that fight with us. I can't stand them since then. I can't stand them since Pat Riley left us to be a snake and go to Miami. All right. But either way, I appreciate all four of you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man.
Of course. Thank you to Kojin. Thank you to Frank. Thank you to Apollo. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat lighting it up. There's still 273 of you guys rocking with us tonight at 11:15. So I appreciate you guys. If you drank tonight, like I always said, please drink responsibly. Do not be stupid. Do not get behind the wheel. Even if you think it was just a little bit, it's not worth it. Protect yourself. Guard one another. Support Nixon-ish. Follow what they're doing over there. Baller takes, especially from this girl right here. Always love hearing what she has to say. That's why she's always got an open spot whenever she wants to come talk. But I appreciate you guys. Support the channel. Tomorrow there will be a post game after the show with Lee, with Lee, B, Jay, Ryan, maybe Fritz. Saturday, look forward to the Nick Life Crisis. They will be locked in and they will create their show on Saturday at some point throughout the day. And matter of fact,
it'll probably be in the morning, probably be like close to 10 a.m. It'll be a morning show, but you can catch it on the replay if you're not live.
Okay. All right. So make sure you support them and everything that they're doing. Seriously, they're putting out some crazy, like unique and special content. It's the kind of thing that you want to support. So shout out to them. I want to share this real quick.
And we're gonna debut some new content on Saturday that I'm really excited about. Now I can't wait for people to see. So definitely tune in Saturday morning.
Yep. So tune in Saturday morning. And like always, appreciate you guys. Drink responsibly. And until next time, God bless. Let's go Knicks. And let's hope we go up 3-0. Let's hope that when we talk next time, the series has been wrapped up and we can just coast until the next one. So appreciate you all. Have a great night. Sleep well. Peace.
10 more wins.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in.